Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm going to be painting up this druid dude again. Got a long way to go on it. I'm actually, I'll talk a little bit about like kind of what I wish I did on this one. But yeah, anyway. Hello. Here with Kimmy's joining us tonight. What's up?
Hello.
Yeah, so feel free to ask questions in the chat, all that, and we will, answer stuff, and we're just going to be hanging out. I got my Pinterest pulled up, so I got hand reference that I'm going to be looking at just to, like, render out this dude's gnarly old hand and start to kind of work out the rest of this.
What's the most incorrect pronunciation of Pinterest that you've heard?
Pinterest.
No. Oh, that was my mom.
Yeah, your mom said that. She said, she was like bringing it up.
I was just about to say no. Nobody would say that.
Yeah,
that
she
my
called
mom
it Pinterest.
said. My mom.
And I was like, Pinterest? What is that? What's Pinterest?
Oh, I was so quick to be like, nobody's that stupid. And then immediately.
Well, I wanted to quickly talk about kind of what I wish I was doing with this instead of what ended up happening. I'm going to pull up my Patreon post that I just did so I can have an image for reference to kind of talk about it. But essentially, I think I had like a weird kind of deep value-ness to the druid guy. The darks go a little too dark, and yeah, I'll show you kind of like what I've been doing lately, which I think is a little bit more efficient. Trying to stay within like a limited value range has been kind of key for me. So what I basically do in this first step is I render up a quick sketch, just kind of going for a pose or something, just very basic, very loose idea of what I'm after for portrait. And then the second one, like I did this demo in particular of this like dumb alien guy just to see how fast I could get to a finish, because I thought like, oh, this feels quick. What if I just worked up something really dumb as fast as I can? How good can I get it? Mm-hmm. So that's what this is. So I did that drawing on the left in Krita, top left, and then I did a pencil drawing using that pencil brush that I have on the Patreon on Clip Studio. I then used my watercolor brush over top that on another layer just to refine it a little bit more. Like it might seem like I'm saying a lot of steps here, but this takes me like 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something. It's very fast. It's just like a lot of refinement quickly to get to the tighter drawing. So anyway, I tighten up with a watercolor thing here on top of this pencil, and then I render the watercolor painting out a bit in Krita, which is the one you see on the top right, which is basically just a value drawing. And then this one, well, now this one will be in the top left here. That is just colors laid in Photoshop beneath the render that I did, and doing like selective color adjustments and things to that value render, followed by rendering on top of it in Photoshop, and the next step further rendering in Photoshop, and then a final here on the bottom. So yeah, this took me a total of like, I don't know, maybe like 2.5, 3 hours or something. So it's pretty quick, but what's nice about it is I get to a very controlled place with my values where I never dip too deep into the value range. And that's because I built it up slowly using like very light tones. So my like watercolor painting over top of this pencil thing was like a light yellowish warm color, and then I just kind of go a little bit darker, and then yeah, just build to that darker value. Anyway, I find that that's way faster and the results are way cleaner. And I wish I did that with this druid. It drives me nuts that I messed that up, or I just didn't know. So like if
It's
you
like
look at
too
this,
touched, right?
it's just too definite is really what it is. Like if you look at this right now, there's so many areas that dip into very dark values. It looks fine, but I have to paint into those areas a lot so that it isn't just pure black shadow everywhere. Whereas if I did it the other way, I would have been able to build to that deep shadow, and I could kind of pick and choose where I want that to go to draw the most attention to
I see.
wherever
Okay.
throughout the painting.
I see what you mean.
As opposed to now, I have to kind of redirect the eye and change values as I go, which is not as efficient. Anyway, I just wanted to get into the weeds early on and see how many people I could lose with that explanation.
Lose? Why are you trying to lose people?
No, I just, in my mind, that's so boring to talk about.
It's like everyone loves to hear that stuff, even if it doesn't make any sense. It's like
It's just how my brain works. I'm always thinking of like how to become more efficient and just more effective with everything that I do, because time is just everything. So it's like maximizing that is, the way to go.
do you want me to read questions from the chat?
Sure.
Arturo says, what adjustment layer do you feel gives the best results when working from a value painting?
Selective color. Pretty, yeah. Like across the board, that's my favorite one. Like I've done gradient maps. I can get the same effect that a gradient map gets with selective color, and I feel like I can control more with selective color. I might just be bad at gradient maps, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. It's like I still get results with it. So selective color to me is my favorite for color adjustment. I can just tweak every individual thing. And my value drawings, I think the reason I don't like gradient maps is that my value drawings, they're not grayscale. So I'm not kind of changing it to a gradient map, which is going to alter just, change it to a color scheme. Like when I do my value drawings now, I'm actually building up with the colors I want to end up with in the final. And to some extent, like it'll change, but all of those colors feed into the final. So when I build up my value in colors very lightly throughout that, initial process, I'm bringing that over into that final artwork, and all of those tones come through. Whereas gradient maps, like, I don't know, you can get like a specific look with them, but I'm so particular that I actually like to draw that stuff in. And because my initial value drawings are so light, I can put multiply layers over top of them with additional lighter colors and actually add in colors as if I'm doing washes on a painting. If you ever saw my Metal Gear Solid painting process where it looked like there was like 6 different colors in each shadow, that's kind of what I'm doing now, building up my stuff again. Yeah.
Alex says, do you have any fancy techniques for painting or coloring a piece, like layer mask, blend modes, etc.?
Fancy techniques for painting, coloring a piece. I start out with a normal layer, drawing the whole thing out. On top of that, I do a multiply layer with a very light kind of yellow, orange. Well, it's a little gray out, a little less saturated. And then I just do a very light drawing on top of that with a multiply. And then I turn off the sketch layer, and then I refine on that multiply layer with, additional colors and things. And yeah, once I have that thing done, that multiply layer, I'll basically select all the white around that character or whatever I'm isolating to paint or draw, and then I'll fill beneath that with white, and then I'll do a selective color adjustment layer above all of that, and then I'll merge them all down into that white layer so that I don't lose any of the adjusted colors that I did. It's all very technical and stupid, and I hope you can follow.
No, everyone's like saying that it's ASMR to listen to you talk about it. Maddie's in here. She says, "Hey Maddie." She says, "I love to hear the learning process." Fuzzy Whisper says, "So it's about controlling contrast to direct people's attention." I think I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a little autistic going into like severe detail on certain things because this is like all I think about.
Well, I mean, Fuzzy also said that's super interesting. Don't hesitate to geek out about the process stuff.
All right.
I told you, everyone wants to hear that stuff. They like the intricacies of it, I think.
Okay.
And it's also like the first, it's like when they get to hear what you're actually thinking rather than like what you should do.
Right.
Like your process.
I am constantly refining. Like I'll be able to talk about what I'm doing within the next like month, basically. But one of the big projects I'm working on right now just really requires me to hone in on a definite process that's going to work consistently across more than one image. And because of that, I really need to get my mind right with all that. So I'm always thinking about these things and trying to keep it in the forefront so that I don't stray and, try too many different things. So whenever I have like a big project, I try to really hone in on a process that makes sense for that project. And then I just adhere to that until it's done.
Riley said, "Sup, brother fellers?"
So
Brother fellas. Eric says, "When are you going to put up a Patreon tier where you and Dan finally release the Property Brothers commentary track with Tommy Ruffines?"
yeah, that reference. At least I think that's how you say his name. It's the dude who made who was the programmer on Super Meat Boy.
Oh yeah. Did you guys just watch?
No, we were talking about it. We were like, that would be fun to do. Just destroy that show.
So stupid.
I love this Street Magic Property Brother. The
one that's the oldest. He's older than the twins, and he comes in. He's like tiny.
He's older?
He's older than them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That dude's the biggest dork in the whole world. That type of dude is that's my Achilles heel.
Oh, that dude is quite literally, mom made us bring him. Sorry, my mom made us bring our older brother with us.
There was a kid who he was from Greece, and he came to my school when I was like maybe in first or second grade. His name was Vasilios.
That's a fucking great name.
And he was such a spoiled brat. Like, it was crazy. And I did not want him to come to my birthday party. I did not. My mom made him come because she was like, he doesn't have any friends. You need to invite him to your birthday. And I was like, okay. I was like, but it's like, you might see him as like this innocent kid from Greece who hasn't met anybody yet. I'm like, but I know this kid's a huge asshole.
Yeah.
And he came to my birthday, and he was one of those kids who like didn't understand that my presents were for me. He like wanted to open presents and stuff, and we had to be like, and he didn't even speak English like very good at all. He could only say like a couple things.
I don't think I knew that detail.
And he like
the story before that changes things.
No, like literally he was like trying to open my presents, and we were like trying to tell him like, no, you can't do that, and he was like, you didn't get it. And then he like threw a huge fit and started like yelling like in the middle of me like opening my presents, and all my friends are there just looking at him like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
It ended up with him going outside with his mom and jumping up and down on the hood of his mom's car screaming. And I was like, I told you, Mom. I was like, I told you he's a piece of shit.
I like how talking about the Property Brothers' older brother made you think of that story.
Well, you said, he's coming.
Yeah, like Mom made.
Yeah, my mom made that kid come to my birthday. It was horrible.
My parents didn't. They were like, the less people we can have, the better. Like, the fewer, we don't need to include anybody.
My mom was trying to be nice.
That's so funny. Maddie says, our paint over is coming back. I miss them.
If I can get less busy, that's really it. I mean, it's just the whole house thing, of just saving up for a house and buying that and making sure we have all the money we need in a bank, and then yes, once things can chill out, a bunch of stuff is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dan and I are going to get back to just doing the Steve book and
I mean, but
everything.
you guys hear it every stream. It's all we've been thinking about for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We bring it up so often because it's literally at the forefront of our mind for the last 2 years, and so
I'm like speed
like,
running work,
yeah.
just trying to get everything done. Need to get every client I have to drop the rest of the money they need to give me, and then
like as exciting as it is that we are like entering this phase of being able to buy a house, it's just like we just want a bit like over. We just want to have this over with.
oh, I do not want to like try to continually make X amount of dollars
Yeah.
every month. It's like I just feel like you know, it's similar to how I felt kind of starting out, except it's different. Where like starting out, I was working my ass off for years and years, just trying to pay the bills, and now I'm working my ass off constantly just to like be able to afford some kind of house and have money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just don't care about money very much. Like it's never been a priority for me until the house. And yeah, it's like, God, now that I'm like thinking about that, it's like trying to get out of the place where, you know, I'm solely defined by my job, because that's all I do. I want to get back to doing like a bunch of different things and taking it easy a little bit,
Yeah.
doing more of the things I would like to do personally, more of the work that I want to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Personal projects, personal concept things. It was actually really nice because I took a little bit of time away from the game job that I've been working on for like 2 years, and I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna wrap up all of the loose ends I got, and then also, you know, do a couple other things if I have time. So when I did that like Naga girl, if you saw that when I posted today, that image was just me kind of chilling out a little bit and trying, you know, new style stuff in between waiting for client feedback. And that felt good. When I was doing that, I was like, God, I can't wait to get back to this.
Mm-hmm.
Where I can just do shit like this.
King Kerr says, do you ever miss drawing just traditional? I love the idea of having the art being on a physical medium.
I mean, I still do it. I just don't do paintings really. I don't really miss it though, because this is very similar to me. Like it's not something where I feel like I'm missing out on, you know, a medium that's more important to me or something. Like this feels equally as rewarding to me in a lot of ways, especially the way I paint now digitally. Like it's so close to the traditional way. It's just sped up.
Archero has a question about the Patreon. Do you have a tutorial on your Patreon that goes more in depth on the technical stuff?
I do have those on there, but they're older now. I haven't had a ton of time to do like super long form tutorials. I was in the middle of doing one for the Ginyu Force painting that I did, but I'm just way beyond that right now with my process, and I feel like it's kind of stupid to do that because it's just a waste of time for everybody. It's like this stuff that I'm doing now and that like Naga character I did the last couple days, I'm like, oh, this is way better. It's way easier to follow, and the results are consistent. So I was like, okay, that's probably the best tutorial process to do, because it's something that I can easily point to and be like, yeah, X, Y, Z, blah, 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 you're done. But if you go back through the Patreon, there's like a number of long form tutorials.
Morgan Bishop says, no face cam today? I can only assume Dave is painting naked.
No, the only reason I'm not doing the camera is because I'm working on a file that's on a hard drive, and I'm using like the Mac Pro like laptop. So basically that thing has only so many USB-C slots, the Thunderbolt slots on it. And I have my hard drive plugged into one of those, and I would need to unplug it, save this thing to the desktop, and then like, you know, plug both cameras in. And I was just like, fuck it, just take up less screen real estate.
I mean, I straightened my hair for this, but I have the worst posture right now, so I'm so grateful. Maddie says, I feel like it's universally known that birthday presents are for the birthday boy.
You would think so.
I came to this party and there's presents for me and I don't know any of these people. That's so insane.
I just think like it must be the parents. Like the parents must always do that for that kid. Like, you know, I don't know how many kids you had like in your friend group when you were little, or just were around, that were
where the parents,
a little bit spoiled.
Yeah, the parents go, oh, just let him though. Like, right. Can you let him open your presents? Like they are the parents who have the audacity.
Well, it's parents who do whatever they need to stop them from crying.
Yeah.
It's parents who are like, oh, my kid's crying, therefore they get whatever they want to shut up.
Therefore, everybody around you has to bend to your parenting roles.
Yeah, like you see it way more now, like as a parent. Mm-hmm. Like we have, 2 kids, and we get to be around other parents and see like, oh, that's how they end up like that. Is the parent is always like, oh, just whatever you want. I'm uncomfortable right now because you're crying and I don't want to be embarrassed in public, or blah, blah, blah. Or we're on a plane right now. Do whatever it takes to shut them up. It's like, no, you have to be consistent or that kid's going to end up a piece of shit. It's like you can't mess around with that.
Mm-hmm.
You're building up that thing for life. So, yeah.
You're making them rely on people enabling them. You're making them rely on that. Like, yeah,
you're making like a kid you do not want to be around.
Oh yeah, that type of adult, not well adjusted. Mm-hmm. Unless they get their way. Riley says, my girlfriend heard you mention the Property Brothers and it activated her. One of them is doing some sort of collab with Trixie Mattel.
She's the Manchurian candidate for real estate.
Well, what does that mean?
I said the key words that turned her on.
Oh.
Activated her assassin mode.
Oh. Fuzzy Whisper said, have you considered building your house out of PS5s?
I have.
Do they all know?
No, I don't know why they would know.
Okay.
We have 3 PS5s, so
we could.
We got the foundation.
We could start.
When PS5s were rare, we were like, oh, let's just buy a couple and then sell them to people we know or something. And then it was just like, we just never did. And now we just have them.
Now we just have 3 PS5s.
Well, it was like a fun game to try and get it when it went live. And now we have 3 PS5s.
And now they sell them at Costco.
I know, now they're everywhere. Now they're in stock all over the place and it just doesn't matter. So if anybody wants a PS5, you just want to pay the regular price of the PS5.
You just want to buy it.
Message us on Discord.
Message me.
Yeah, then you'll still have to pay shipping.
Yeah.
You won't get free shipping from us. That's the only problem. So you're probably still better off buying it from the store.
That was my side hustle that just put me negative. And I only spent $1,500.
Yeah, good.
To lose $1,500. Mooney says, I think I might have been, this might have been asked before, but do you think you'd ever do a sketchbook tour stream where you show pages of your physical sketchbook?
Yeah, of course. I just need to set up the camera right or something. I haven't figured that out. I've seen other people do it where like they have it above their desk, and I've tried to do that, but I think I'm just I wasn't super competent with it, so it just was weird. I did like a book thing on the Patreon where I went through my favorite books that I had in my collection and showed that and talked about it. But I don't know. I wasn't like crazy about that. I was like, this is fine, but I feel like I could get a way more comfortable setup for this. And I'm in like a really tiny space right now. So it's weird to like have a desk and set things up.
Can you imagine if it looked like you were in a closet and you just had like curtains on your head and you're like trying to like, you're this close to the camera showing your sketchbook because there's no room.
Well, it's so hard to do the book thing. I brought in like a folding table and I set it up in here, and this room is so small
I know,
that like
it's
there's just
so
nowhere
stupid.
for it to go. I was like, okay,
It is comical though.
everything that we want to do with like podcast stuff and process things and live videos and whatever, it's like it's gonna be so much better when we actually have a studio.
It's funny because I wonder what it looks like when you see both of us on camera, because we're against the same wall and I'm pushed into a little corner and I'm looking at Dave.
Yeah, this is a
And
tiny
he's
room.
looking at the computer, so I have no idea what's going on the screen besides the chat. It's tiny. You have two stinky dogs in here.
There's dogs that fart in here. And go
That was
all the time.
at the vet. Rico was nervous farting, and I think it's because she flipped out of the car. and she's like, she did a weird thing where she took like a couple of like scurried steps, like, and it, like a fart came out with each one, like rapid. And I was just like, please don't poop on the floor. Please don't poop on the floor, because I had both my dogs with me at the vet, and they were just like both anxious.
Yeah, our 15-year-old chubby dog did a side roll out of the back of our car onto the floor, onto the pavement.
Our blind dog, she has cataracts.
Did a barrel roll.
I know, it's like, we're not going in there for anything. Like, they're fine. They're just doing a normal checkup. And I love that that's like, oh, wow, she's 15. She looks great for her age. She looks really good. She, like, lost all this weight. Like, and we, like, right before we came in, she just flipped out of the car. Like, she went...
Smacked on her back on the
like,
ground.
yeah, head over heels. Like, she did a thing and she, like,
Yeah,
flopped.
pretty sure dogs aren't supposed to fall onto
Especially
their backs.
15-year-old dogs with cataracts.
Onto the pavement.
So we walk in and she's just like, like nervously.
Like,
Like,
wow, she's
just-
incredible. That's an incredible dog you have.
She looks great for her age. Like, I don't know. Oh. That was so funny. I was getting so annoyed with that front desk lady. Like, I don't know if I've ever been in a more boring small talk situation. It made me so upset because when there's chaos around you, you don't need anything to stall you from proceeding with the chaos to remove it from whatever situation. Like, i.e. kids, dogs who are really anxious and like running around and like jumping up on you. So my dogs are just kind of like freaking out, and I'm waiting for her to pull up my bill, and she's like, is that thunder? And she looks around in her office with all windows. It's not raining. Oh, it might have been a truck that drove by. And she's talking this slowly. And I was like, can I put my dogs in the car while you're talking about thunder? Oh my God, just check me out. What are we doing?
I feel like my patience has gone It's gone down by so much since having kids.
I know.
Where it's like anything that's not the kids and doing something with them, you just like, all right, this isn't important. Like whatever this is it's not.
Please stop talking about like you have you never heard thunder before? This sounds like the first time you've heard it, and you're like shocked. Like you need somebody to remember this moment because I feel like that's unless it's like earth-shattering thunder, it's really not anything to talk about when you're like an adult.
Yeah, I feel like I've become way more of like an asshole in general since having kids. Like even with the dogs, like anything, like it went from like our dogs are our babies to like
Go away. Get out of my fucking face.
just like if you wake
right
up
now.
if you wake up the kids from a nap because you barked because the UPS guy showed up,
No.
I'm gonna eat both of you guys.
Because you had a panic attack because there's a fly in here.
Yeah.
And you can't stop whimpering.
You get so like unreasonably mad.
My baby is sleeping finally. Yeah, no.
There's nothing crazier than a baby finally going to bed and then a dog barking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you vanish. I just flew into a rage. I got into a fugue state. I woke up,
You
my
know.
dog was dead.
I know, and I'm like, I used to think about it, and I was like, God, Elu literally went everywhere with us. Now she goes nowhere with us, and anytime she gets in the car, she's like full on panic attack. She almost stepped in my coffee. She's done a thing where she jumped around the car and pooped while she was jumping around because she was scaring herself. I'm just like, I can't. I just don't have time for this.
He's jumping and shitting.
Yeah. Before I think I'd be like, oh,
Oh no.
she's scared. Oh my God, she
Elu.
got so upset, and that she's like so scared
You
that
just
she
go
pooped.
now, like, shut your ass.
I know,
Shut your fucking ass.
Stop. Stop shitting right now. Fuzzy Whisper said, Kim, if you want, I can guess your posture. Are you doing the Exorcist crab walk? No, I'm just doing the like gluttonous hunchback witch. I don't know. I'm cold, so I'm like kind of hunched under a blanket. That would just look so stupid if I was like this on camera. Fuzzy says, you have 2 more PS5s than I do, and I resent that. Reminds me of the 5 PS5 skit on YouTube. I don't know, I haven't seen it. Oh, Maddie just bought one this week. Yeah, you could have bought it from us. She said, I could have had a Raposa exclusive PS5.
Yeah. I'll do a Monster Hunter drawing on the side of it. Like it's one of those special edition ones. I'll do it with a Sharpie. I saw a dragon.
I'll send you, I don't know, cookies.
Do a hot dog in a bathing suit or something like that.
No, Dave's like white back magic cards. If people ask for them, he draws like Garfield comics, and it's like, these are not the same audience of people.
Oh, they
You
got
can draw a giant Garfield on your PS5, Maddie.
You can't give me the directive to draw whatever I want on a magic card. Whatever I want is usually a hot dog with eyes on a skateboard or
So
Garfield or something
stupid.
like that. Like I always do stuff like that.
Oh my God, that's so fun. I didn't even read this, Riley, but Riley just said, or he said after Maddie, he said a Dave Raposa signed PS5 with a custom Sharpie Garfield drawing on it. Yeah, you must have gotten one of those cards at one point, Riley.
Yeah, there's so many of those.
Eric says, I remember when Axel was born, and we saw in real time when Dave shifted from I love my dogs to I want to kill my dogs.
Yeah.
It's so real, and we did love. I mean, we do love our dogs, but they ain't shit compared to my kids.
Yeah, I still try to like. I mean, it's been less lately, but I tried to run with the dog, with Elu at least, because she's not 15 years old. And
15 blind and flipping out of cars.
yeah, and I was doing that for a bit, but now the boys want to come in the morning with me. I run them over to the forest, and then we play in the woods until like 9:30 or so every morning. So even there, she's been replaced. She'll have her time in the sun again once we have a yard.
Yeah, but she doesn't. She's like, whatever. She stays close. She kind of just wants to find a different spot to lay.
Well, let's say
or
this.
Poop.
Here's the reality of it. When you have kids, especially like, the two little boys that we got, it's like they play with the dogs. Like we might not, but they do. They love the dogs.
Oh
Like
my
always
God.
hugging them and squeezing them, and they like the dogs love them.
Just they'll literally be in like this race around the island, running full speed, just screaming with their swords and their guns, and then they'll stop and hug their dogs, and be like, "I love you," and then go back to just being crazy. I'm like, dang, good thing we have kids to love them. I mean, in general, they get more love because now they have 4 of us giving them attention.
It's true. And I've become less of a monster.
Well, we don't have little babies.
Yeah, we don't have the tiny babies
And
anymore.
we lived in an apartment with our first one for 6 months, and then we moved to this townhome, and so the apartment situation was like bad already. It's like everything kind of puts you on edge. You're like, you hear
Aiden!
you hear Aiden,
All day.
yeah, all day.
Our downstairs
Oh.
neighbor fighting with their kid constantly.
With a baby that's trying to sleep, so that had its own challenges. But then we went to this townhouse, and it's like the only thing that we can blame anymore was the dogs. And then our second one was like a super finicky sleeper, and like these dogs.
You're walking on glass.
Yeah.
Everything makes noise.
Yeah, even cleaning themselves, it just sounds like they're eating their asshole. Like just being so gross and like
Always
the loudest.
munching.
Yeah.
Something happening with this?
What?
Okay, it's just a weirdly long pause in that song.
Cracky says, my deceased neighbor had a John Leverick signed blender and pipe wrench. I have no idea who John Leverick is.
I don't either.
Nothing comes up when you Google it. But I want to know so bad who he is and what he does.
That's really funny.
Just some uncle who keeps writing his name on shit with a Sharpie.
Yeah, it's not an autograph.
And all they have is those 2 things left because they were still working. Everything else they threw out.
It's just your neighbor's name.
So stupid. Maddie says, this is why I can't have babies. I don't want to love my dogs less. I don't think... It's just different. It's just different,
And not everybody's like us.
Yeah, and yeah, I have friends. I have a friend who's super in love with her dogs.
And has kids.
Yeah, she just had a kid. I mean, a year ago. And I remember they were going to put their dog through cancer treatment, and he was 15. I'm like, man, she really loves her dogs. Because I love our dogs, but I don't know if I would do that. Not when we had kids and responsibilities. I'd be like, do we really want to see them suffer? And then
They'd be
explain
like,
that
your
to
15-year-old dog who's going to die in a year has cancer.
Yeah,
You
it's
want to pay $20,000
Yeah.
or whatever for treatment. I'd be like, no.
yeah.
Are you crazy? It is crazy, imagining telling, my dad, my dad's dead, so, imagining telling, my dad who grew up super poor, and we were pretty poor when I was a kid, yeah, we're taking our dog in for, cancer treatment. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, that's just wild.
That was isn't that like a Louis C.K. joke where he talks about like how his dog's on anxiety medication and he told somebody in Europe and they were like, it's a dog. Like, why?
Oh, yeah.
But he goes, oh, because they're really anxious. They have separation anxiety. Like, but it's
Just laugh.
Yeah, but it's a dog. Laughed in his face.
I mean, it's true, though. It's like, you know, it's a luxury to have that stuff. It's a very particular, you know, situation to be in where you can do that.
Joy says, is this some type of riot art?
No, this is just an original character that I was working up, just having fun. I always forget how nice this brush is in Clip. Like, I can't believe how easy it is to paint with this thing. Especially now that Clip Studio allows you to do true color blending. It's so much better.
King Curse says, do these streams get saved to the Patreon? I'm all dirty and shit and I need to take a shower. But I don't want to miss the stream.
They're on here on the YouTube, so you can just, you know, open up this link again and it'll be right there. So if you're on the Discord and you see the link to this stream, you can just click it again and this will be archived.
Kyle Martin says, what's up, hog snarfers?
Not much, just working, just trying to get some stuff done.
There's a sandwich shop out here called Snarf's. It's so good, you guys.
Yeah, if you're from the Denver area, I don't know if it's anywhere else.
It originated in Boulder here. So.
Oh, okay, so it is like a Colorado thing specifically.
Yeah, so I don't know if they have it anywhere else.
Very good.
Yeah, I want to try that Snarf burger place. Like, it
yeah.
seemed like it had good reviews.
Yeah, I want to get fatter.
Yeah, I don't need to, but I want to. Daniel Bruno Art says, if I didn't already have a PS5, I would absolutely have paid extra for a PS5 with some original Dave Raposa Garfield hentai drawn on it.
Yeah. It would be the crudest thing. Just shitty Sharpie drawings.
Ben Neeson says, hey Dave, been a fan of your work since Crimson Daggers days. But, nope, not but. That was a huge help for me then. I think you mentioned the other stream, but which was the version of Photoshop you currently use?
I'm using, what is it? I'm using the CC, the Creative Cloud one, but I paused the update, so it's a 2022 one. I can't remember the exact version it is, but I just found, like, I updated it once or something, and I was like, oh, this works, you know, and I know Photoshop, so I was just kind of like, and I will never update it again because fuck Photoshop. Like, the amount of times that updates just ruin it, it's just, yeah, too much.
You have to, like, refine things, like they'll rename things too, right? I remember you told me that, like, something was under a different thing.
That was more because I upgraded from, like, the last version of Photoshop I used before I jumped into this one was like CS6 or something. Like, it was like an old version. So there was a ton of changes to Photoshop. Like, all my brushes stopped working the way I thought they worked. It's like, oh, fuck.
Fuzzy says, if you think about it, eating food is really just training for eating ass.
I mean, not really.
What kind of food are you eating?
Just shit food. Just food with too much iron in it or something.
Food that doesn't... That was so specific. Large dogs cleaning themselves always sounds like someone is shaking water out of a leather boot. It's so gross. That is such a good description.
The amount of times, like, I'm trying to fall asleep and our dog Wiko just starts glorking on her asshole. It drives me fucking nuts.
Glorkin, it's so gross.
That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
it sounds like she's like eating herself out.
Glork, like every time, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Stop sucking on your asshole. It's driving me nuts.
Maddie says, I gotta say, everyone should get pet insurance. My dog tore her dog version of her ACL last year, and surgery would have been 3.5K, but it was only 1K with insurance. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's still a lot.
Which, like, that's just our opinion of like where that could be allocated, because we have children and we're saving for a house.
$1,000. I can get a new dog for that.
Oh my god!
Imagine saying that to the.
I know,
to the
it's
vet.
like super insensitive.
How much did you say it was? 3,000. That's like.
I can get
That's
3
like
puppies.
7 dogs.
I get 3. I get 3
That's like
high
7
tier
budget
dogs.
dogs. You want me to save one dog for $3.6 thousand? I could get so many dogs for that. It'd be crazy. And none of them would have it. None of them would have cancer.
Oh my god, they'd all be new. Eric says, when I was a kid, my mom... Nope, that's not at all what it says. When I was a kid... it says my aunt would visit my grandparents' farm. One time, the barn cat had kittens that were too tame and didn't know how to mouse.
Okay.
All my grandma said was they were going to heaven.
Hell yeah.
Did I miss the link to
The
something
rules.
else that we said, or was that just like a random story?
He's just telling about how practical they were. That they were like, we only have cats to kill mice.
Oh yeah.
So
because
they
animals.
suck at it,
Yep.
so they're going to heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like just that's I don't know. That's reality, right?
I know. What? Why did I read it like what? What did I do? Why did I read it like that? This is at Kimberly. What?
Because she's slightly high right now. That's why. That's why she's reading poorly.
We have Maddie says we have a Snarfs in STL, but never tried it. Logo is kind of ugly. It's so good. The logo is hideous. It's so good.
I mean, as far as those like sandwich shops go, like those like
Okay.
chainy kind of things, like it's very good.
Yeah, like if you want to compare like Jimmy John's,
But if you're
Jersey
like
Mike's.
if you're the kind of person that's like, I don't like tomatoes, I don't like whatever, it's like maybe don't.
yeah.
If you're very particular,
No, I'm sure.
I'm not saying that Maddie is.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying in general, it's like you want to get the thing with like everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's like real good about it. But if you're like a person who's, orders a hamburger with just like mustard and ketchup, probably not
Yeah.
your place.
We did the mistake of taking a friend there who didn't want anything on theirs.
And they're like, it's good.
And-
but it's not like, and you're like, well, you got,
Yeah, but you got nothing. You got bread and lettuce.
yeah, you got bread and meat. That's it.
Yeah.
Bread and one kind of meat. It's crazy. It's a crazy.
Not even any sauces. It's kind of dry. What? You said no mayo, no nothing, no seasoning and oil, no nothing. You can't say it's dry too. That's not okay. That's not fair.
That's not how that works.
When we're telling you this is like one of our favorite sandwich shops, and you went, let me order the worst thing and say I don't really care for this. The roast master's back. Who did I roast?
Who knows?
Riley says, I'm snarfing up all kinds of shit. And Maddie says, I'm gulping down some pig dicks with these bags of meat. Sunday fun day with these pig dicks. Hope nobody gulps us.
Yeah, that's from I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
That show's so good.
You know, I think I sing "Bones Are the Money" like once a week, maybe. Sing it to the boys.
I also go, I'm just joking. Joking.
Give me that.
Yeah, give me that. Anyway, we do
I'm
give me
gonna
that a
eat
lot.
this whole thing. I'm joking. I'm joking. Would you like a bite? Yes.
I would.
I would. Because I'm afraid that you're gonna think I'm a little boy.
No.
Or what is
it's,
it? The little boy inside me isn't something.
I'm
Isn't
not
healed.
going to do it justice.
Ugh. And my wife would get arrested because every night there's
Scare
a
little boy goes down on her or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, so funny. I saw today. Oh, this is Morgan Bishop. I saw today Photoshop is setting up to sue users if they don't update. I'm not sure how true that is, but it was just a rage bait headline. Left
That
something relevant out.
sounds not true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do it.
That sounds
Do
hilarious.
it. You try. You try Adobe Photoshop.
I would love that if like
A lawsuit against.
if TJ Maxx did that, where they were like, "That shirt's 5 years old. We have a new one of that shirt.
You have to
We're gonna
buy
sue you. You can't be
more
wearing
of our
that."
shirts.
Yeah, I would love that.
Isn't it ripping yet? We know it's not great quality. You need to update it. Gonna add the word glorkin to my vocabulary.
Yeah.
So
My
nasty.
dogs be glorking.
Yeah, Bruno says, I'm cracking up over this dog math. $3,000. Could buy 7 puppies.
Yeah, I would love to do that at the vet. I mean, like, even kids, like, it's a whole other mindset now. Like, for almost all of history, people had children because they needed to, like, accomplish things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea that your sole job was to make sure your kids were happy and playing all the time and doing things is a relatively new concept. It's like, for the longest time, it wasn't that. It was like, I do a thing every day. I need help, you know,
You're part
hunting,
of this world now. Yeah.
getting food, you know, having a garden, whatever, you know, foraging. It's like, that's what a kid did, you know, from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the idea that, like, their sole purpose in life is to play and go to, like, activities all the time is new. So, you know, same thing with pets. It's like they served a purpose. Like, dogs are bred for a reason. You had cats for a specific reason.
It's a mouse.
It's like, but now you don't have that, so you just have, like, you know, pleasure pets. Pets that just make me happy to look at and pet. It's a new thing.
Yeah. Ben Neeson says, any chance you might do an old school blood sport challenge 1 month? If you are part of the Patreon, we were doing challenges monthly. It's not always consistent just because the beauty with Patreon is that it's more flexible.
Yeah, and it comes in waves because sometimes we can do things and sometimes life is a little too crazy, so things slow down. I mean, it's kind of like people being members of the Patreon. Like, it ebbs and flows. Like, some people walk in and out of the Patreon, and
Some people participate, and then the next one they don't. So, but we try to do them. I mean, we're getting really good participation on most of the ones that we've done.
yeah, I literally, like we've said in the past couple streams, it's like all I have to do is make that video. I mean,
the
maybe
next
I'll do
one.
that after this, because
Yeah.
like every time I just have so many other things that I have to also do that I'm like, oh god, I keep fucking forgetting to make that video. We already have the new challenge.
Yeah. Just
We've
has
had
not-
it for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, everybody.
But yeah, that's part of the Patreon via the Discord. So, and you know, when we're not hosting challenges over there, there's like so many channels where people have been reaching out, and it's like really nice. People really have made good connections, and you know, there's different channels to browse through, so that you have like the resources that a lot of people have had, and then you get access to everything that's been posted if you become a patron.
Yes, they are pleasure pets. I mean, honestly, if they're just there to like pet and whatever, and they don't serve a purpose, a job anymore, I mean, you might as well be fucking them, right?
What? What?
I'm just kidding. Don't fuck your dogs or your cats.
You should not do that.
You should not have sex with your dog.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Scunchins neighbor says a former neighbor was removed from his place he used to walk around in his deceased mom's clothes at night.
Hell yeah.
And would look through everyone's trash and throw dildos at kids he doesn't like. What?
How did he pick out the kids he doesn't like?
What is this story in relation to? Because I like it.
He's like, he sees one kid go by and he goes, "You're cool." He's holding a dildo. Keep going.
Yeah.
The next kid. Check him out. How, I mean, you can't say he used to throw dildos. He probably did it like once. Can't be like, this dude
Just like
does
a
this
bag of
all
dildos.
the time.
Or he throws it and then he goes and retrieves it and then throws it again.
The old dildo chucker. He's back. Like, I'm sure that didn't happen.
Maddie says, I'm not particular, but I am a vegan, so that limits me somewhat. And she said, I'm a chill vegan, I swear. Scunch says, I'm vegetarian. I can't do vegan. I don't know. I'm the one that's not anything, I guess. There's nothing special. I eat everything, you guys.
Yeah.
Everything and anything.
I'm easy.
Yeah. Kyle Martin says, I'm trying my first weed drink tonight. Hope I don't go insane. What? LOL. You can't just say that.
Yeah, I guarantee you won't go insane. You might be paranoid. I guess it depends.
Yeah, depends. Let me know how it is. I've seen those and I was like, that can't taste good. That does not seem like that would taste good, you know?
Yeah. I still say that if, like, you know, we take edibles, like, probably too much at this point, but, like, a lot. And at the end of the day. And if I had been doing this before, having some form of success, it would have been chaos. Like, if I could escape just feeling like a monster, like working on all this stuff and being like, I'm not seeing any progress, and I could just vanish away and never think about that stuff, that would have been a big problem.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't do that.
Same.
Because it's too good.
Yeah, it's very nice to, like, unwind in a way that's not, like, it doesn't affect the next day, you know?
Yeah, like alcohol. Alcohol was nothing but a depressant to me. Like, I got so, like, I wasn't always bummed out on alcohol, but more often than not, if I got too drunk or drank the wrong kind of thing,
Tequila.
it just fucking ruined me.
Tequila, baby.
Oh yeah.
Tequila in Denver, your first time in Denver.
Oh yeah.
It's like the altitude got you, and then it was tequila. By the end of the night, I put
Just
Dave in
sobbing
a
in the
bathtub because I didn't know what to do.
I was just
He was crying.
just bawling my eyes out in a tub.
And I was like, Do you want to take a bath? Do you think that will help? Because okay, hold on. Let me explain. This is date number 2, you guys.
Yeah.
And it was like my friend's birthday, and my friends were like, shots, everybody shots, because it's my friend's birthday. And so her boyfriend was like buying shots all night for all of us. And and so this is Dave's first time. Altitude, if you don't know, affects how you metabolize your alcohol. So way more affected at a higher altitude in Denver. And he had tequila, which is not his drink of choice, but he took it. He didn't even ask questions. He didn't even know who handed it to him. He just took all of them. And then he was laughing because everyone had chasers, and he's like, I don't need this. Well, guess what? 30 minutes later, I put him in a tub because he was crying.
Hold on. A chaser would have done nothing to mitigate that.
I know.
Having some Dr. Pepper in a little shot glass. That's not like a cure-all for crying from drinking too much alcohol. I was shocked by that, by the way.
I know.
Like, I was from Boston at that point, and like, you can't give men
No.
chasers of Dr. Pepper after shots. It's like you just get
You
beat
were
up.
You were like, oh dang, we're taking 2 shots like right off the bat, like back to back.
Yeah, I was so
I-
surprised. I was like,
like-
whoa, 2 shots.
Like,
It's
what are you guys
aren't
on a
messing
race?
around. And I took it like a shot, and I was like, what the fuck? Is this Dr. Pepper? And he's like, yeah, man. To get the taste out of your mouth. I was like, what? The taste out of my mouth? What are you talking about? It was like the weirdest thing ever. I was like, I've never seen men so comfortable. I got made fun of for wearing gloves in the wintertime. And it's like, it was wild. I was like, oh, okay. Like
That's when you realized you were safe.
the amount of toxic masculinity, I was submerged in at all times. I didn't even know I was in it.
That's so funny.
I didn't know things were different until I was handed a Dr. Pepper chaser from Fireball, by the way. Like, Fireball whiskey is what they gave me, which was hilarious. I was like, Fireball? I was like, this is already a Dr. Pepper chaser.
I'm surprised
This
they
is
gave
like
you Fireball.
two
None of them
Dr.
drink
Pepper-
Fireball.
2
Unless,
Dr. Pepper
I
chasers.
wonder if it was like one of Ray's friends or something that ordered it. Because
I mean, it was for sure them.
Cause they always order like Hennessy shots. Hennessy or you know, if it was like tequila, it'd be like whatever. Tequila shots, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny.
Dan's, you got to be a man and ask for a shot of Bailey's straight up like me. I know Dan's story of being on a mountain here in Colorado with a bunch of like blue collar worker dudes and being at the bar with all of them and then ordering a Bailey's on the rocks, and they were just like, you are not one of us at all.
Here's your cold milk on the rocks. Eric says, in my area there's a regional chain of sub shops called Herbert's and Gerbert's, and it's god tier food, but they want to have names like Bork and Gerb.
That's pretty cool.
Maddie, quoting, I think you should leave. Do they ever just jump out and have like giant cum shots? I'm really asking. You said we could ask anything. Can I or can I not swear?
Oh, that show's so good.
I just want to know. Do they ever just like fucking... So stupid. I don't know. Oh, Wesley Edwards says, Dave and Kim, have you seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger deepfakes from Brian Monarch on YouTube yet? Thank me later.
I don't know if I've seen those ones in particular, unless that's the one of him as a what's his name? Uncle what from Napoleon Dynamite? I can't remember.
Uncle
Rico?
Rico. Yeah.
And he's talking about throwing the football over those mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that one. That one's really good.
Alec Hamilton said, "What's the druid going to wild shape into when shit hits the mitt?"
I kind of see this guy as turning into some sort of like big lizard or something. I know that's not, normal druid stuff, but that's what I'm imagining. He feels very reptilian to me. Wiry and weird. Or he could start chimping around, I guess.
I saw like one of the most devastating videos, and by devastating I mean it devastated me physically and emotionally. Like, I was so wrecked after seeing this. It's just a monkey, right? Not a gorilla.
I think it was a chimpanzee.
Oh, it was a chimp. Okay.
I think.
It was like a chimp, and she had given birth to a baby, and they had to take at a zoo, and they had to take the baby away for like medical needs or something. And so this chimp thought her baby died. She got back into her whatever encasement. It's not like a enclosure, whatever it was. And she's like visibly sad.
Yeah,
and
she
then,
thinks the baby's dead.
Yeah. And she's like in there alone. And then the little baby raises his hand from the little like nest that they have. And she like panics and hurries over and grabs him and starts rocking him. And like there was like such an urgency. It is so devastating. I don't know why I'm talking about it. It was so sad. Oh. If you have a heart, go watch it.
Also, Kim's an easy crier too, so she cried hard at that. She also cried. I mean, I've talked about this before, but before we had kids, you could Google like teacup pigs, and she would cry looking at pictures of them. So
they're just so sweet.
Kim is fragile. You can push her over the edge easy. You can look at like a picture of a little bunny eating a strawberry, and she would cry.
Morgan Bishop said, "I feel like if I called my dogs pleasure pets, somebody would take them away from me."
Of course.
Is that all we have to do to get them taken away?
The pleasure pet's all worn out. Let's tell the vet that. Yeah, this dog's mostly just for pleasure. That's why I keep it.
Yeah, no purpose. She's not a guard dog. We don't have animals to herd.
Yeah,
one of those old bred for pleasure pets.
Yeah.
For my pleasure.
For my pleasure.
For her pleasure.
This one's for my pleasure. That one's for hers. I mean, it is weird that like
so stupid.
we just have dogs for no other purpose than to just eat and hug, play with.
Riley said, "I'm in the Patreon until I'm fucking dead. Blood in, blood out. Until I have no blood left. I'm in this fucking Patreon." Damn right, Riley.
Thanks,
Damn right, Riley. You got it. You're in with us. You're stuck with us. That's it. You can't leave.
Yeah, blood in, blood out.
Oh, I'm like super behind. I'm just gonna go down to the
Patreon. That's what we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the, there is another tier. We just don't have it listed. You got to get jumped into that tier.
Did I tell you about my secret group?
What,
my
the
secret
Bloods?
club? No, my secret club. when I was in middle school, like me and someone else, I can't remember, like we would just ask people if they wanted to be in our secret club. And they'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, you just give me a hug. And then I bit their shoulder. And we just did that to people. And they knew. And then it was just like a joke. Like a, haha, I gotcha. It's not that. I just bit you. Anyway.
Good joke.
Right. Really dumb.
Very
I get it.
good.
I was in middle school.
Yeah.
It's a joke of like an 11-year-old girl. And I can't remember what I was going to tell you about the rest of the story.
I mean, A+.
Oh, people saw me doing this to people, and they were like, I see that you're hurting somebody by biting them, but I want to be in the secret club too. And they subjected themselves to being bitten because they actually thought that there was a secret club. But it was just a prank, bro. It was just
No, I bet they saw a cute girl biting people to get into a club, and they were like, look at this moron, and get this girl to just bite me and put her mouth on me.
It was girls, too. It was... The girls were like... Girls really wanted to be in the secret club.
I don't think they really wanted to be in it.
They really did. A lot of girls. Maybe that's more telling than I realized. Maybe a lot of girls just liked me. Maybe I was a little les passing. I don't know.
Jamin says, Kim, the fuck? I did the same thing. Biting people club. Why did they let me roam free?
No way. Shetty says, hey Dave, was wondering if you ever turn off watercolor edge on this brush. It kind of changes the brush feel, so I was thinking if you ever tried to do it. Thanks.
I think I did. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I played with this brush a lot, but yeah, I think I didn't get the same effect I liked with the blending. So I think that was why I didn't do that, but I can't really remember. It's been a while.
Ooh, Maddie says that she had a drink called Keefs, and it was pretty good. It tastes like Sunkissed.
Mm.
I'm gonna try that. Riley says, damn, maybe I should not try edibles until I'm in a better place. I mean, it just depends. If you have
a lot of
self-control,
if you have a lot of discipline, then it's fine.
And you can, like, if you're good with drinking right now and you're like, yeah, I'll only have a few, after I've accomplished things this week, or maybe treating myself, or it's like once a week kind of thing, like a little bit of restraint, if you will. Like, if you do that now and you think that you can apply it to that, and your drive is strong enough to keep you going through that, it's cool. It's fun, But if you don't think, and only you know yourself, you don't trust yourself, and you're like, if I like it, I'm gonna do it, and if I really like it, I'm gonna do it every day, then maybe not, I used to work in an ice cream shop, and we made a 420 flavor that was hemp flavored vegan ice cream with vegan sponge candy topping. It was absolutely disgusting.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, he didn't really sell it, so.
Like no part of me eats like a gummy that tastes like weed and is like,
yeah.
I don't do that.
But even if you didn't say the word vegan, a sponge candy topping doesn't sound like super appealing to me.
What's sponge candy?
I don't know.
I know sponge cake. What the hell is sponge candy?
I don't know. I wonder if it's like honeycomb. That's good. But I don't understand. Just sounds like a terrible name for it. Skunch said about the guy who threw the dildos, he did it more than once because they called the cops at least 3 times. I saw him at night when I was coming home, and he stared at me, and then later on when I was heading to work, he was in pink joggers staring at me.
Very cool.
In his mom's clothes. His
Night
dead
Stalker.
His dead mom. That's so gross.
That rules.
He's like looking at you and he's like, oh, he makes me feel like a lady. I'm gonna go ahead and get on my little lady joggers. And I'm gonna run past him and see if he notices
I'm gonna throw a dildo at him.
that. Whoopsies!
Let one fly.
Oh, I dropped this.
I like the idea of having multiples.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the
Just
idea
a
of wearing
bag
your
of
dead
dicks.
mom's clothes. I knew a dude who did that.
Underwear, right?
Were they dead? I don't think the mom was dead. I think he just wore his mom's clothes.
Ooh.
That's right.
He just did it.
He was a drug dealer
Mm-hmm.
who wore
Samurai
his mom's
drug dealer.
underwear.
Samurai basketball playing,
Yeah.
car racing.
Dan said that he would hop in and help, but we don't have our headphones set up going right now. I guess we could do it.
Yeah, I brought my.
You have your AirPods?
I can do a Google Hangout or whatever.
Yeah, I can do that. That would be a good chance for me to break for a second because I need to pee really bad.
Okay. Maddie said, oh my god, my husband did that before. Cried and took a bath with all his clothes on because he was super trash. Second date, you guys. And then I said, I'm gonna marry this man. as he wept to me naked.
Alright, I sent you both an invite. Just
N-
remember that
No, but
you
I
mute
need.
yourself.
No, but I'm not on with you. I'm on with Dan.
What?
Remember? So that I can hear him too. Because I don't need to hear you.
Oh yeah, right. You have to send him an invite. That's right.
Dang.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm the one who's.
And then you do a meet and add Dan, right? So you just don't join mine. You only do one with Dan. Hold on, I gotta turn down this music. I have music playing. You there? Dan? Alright, let me turn you up. Can you keep talking? Keep talking.
Yo, it's me, it's Dan. What's going on? Hello, hi, it's me. I'm here, I'm talking, I'm
I
streaming.
sent him an invite.
Let me turn you up louder. Keep talking.
Oh, wait, am I joining Kim's thing too?
Both, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. You there?
Yeah, I'm joining Kim's right now.
Okay, cool. There we go.
What up, Kim?
What up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, 1 second.
No echoes?
There's a little bit of echoes on my end, but I think I can. Let me see. Am I supposed to listen to you through Dave's or through yours?
Either. You can mute on here if you want.
You mute yourself.
Wait, I'm just kidding. I can mute myself.
Yeah, because Dan's
Oh.
listening to you on.
There you
Ah,
go.
is
Perfect.
that better?
Perfect. Yes, perfect.
We figured it out.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Sorry. In my
What?
effort to de-stress, I forgot it was Thursday, and I went out and tried to do something that wasn't work.
Oh, you don't have to be sorry.
I
Look,
forgot it
I've
was
been
Thursday.
entertaining everybody with
Oh, no, I know. It's just-
really bad stories.
That's fine.
They're not as good as yours and Dave's, but
I'm sure they're fantastic. I had
What'd you do today?
I had something you would have loved.
Hmm.
I went for a swim. Went for a long swim.
good.
Went to an antique shop to get some furniture for the basement, and then I went down the Cape to this restaurant I heard about that makes homemade pasta every day. When they sell
Mhm.
out, it's gone, and then come back the next day. And I had butternut squash, nutmeg, tortellini in a sage
Oh.
butter sauce.
Ugh, my God,
was-
could you please
Like,
stop?
Kim would love this. I was like,
Oh
Kim would love
my
this.
God.
It was so
Well-
fucking good. But yeah. And then I saw Dave's call and I was like, oh, I thought it was Wednesday for some reason. So I was like, oh, right, okay.
Feel like you probably lost some time staying up till like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I definitely yesterday I was up with a crazy headache till like 7 a.m, and then I slept like all day. So like I'm like the night man. but yeah. But yeah, what are you guys up to?
Somebody said, Kim, do you cry knowing that teacup pigs are what teacup pigs really are? Aren't they just baby pigs?
I think they're like forced to stay small or something. Isn't there some like weird animal cruelty thing?
No, I don't think teacup pigs stay small. I think they get big. I think they're like maybe smaller than like
Maybe there's
normal
like a
pigs, but
conspiracy.
they still get big.
Maybe there's some weird internet conspiracy rumor about what they are that isn't true.
Teacup pigs?
Yeah, wasn't there something circulating where it was like animal cruelty for a while or something?
I thought they were just regular. I don't know why. It's just a term that's used, but I don't think that they're different. They don't stay small forever.
Maybe that was actually what I'm thinking of, where people thought they stayed small and it was a scam, and everybody bought them, and then they grew into regular-sized pigs.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be what it was. Yeah. Everybody's like, I got my mini pig, and then it just turns into a fucking hog. You're like, oh, whoops. Uh-oh.
And then what's that fact that you told me about like pigs if they're out in the wild?
Oh yeah, they revert back to like hairy pigs. Like they get all covered in hair, like the pink pigs. If they get out in the woods for a minute, then they get like their
tusks start growing.
And they grow hair.
Yeah.
And they get feral and nuts.
They start adapting.
Yeah,
that's what you guys are. You guys are all the wild pigs out there. All the hairy little tusks.
Leave me in the woods too long. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's all of everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Little piggies. Little wild piggies.
Oh man. I went to that chocolate shop that has that stuff you like today, Kim.
Oh no.
Yeah, I went in there and
you want to know, dude, you want to know how much I like that stuff? I looked up recipes for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I can become a chocolatier. I can make candy in my kitchen. No, don't.
I know. It's like
I didn't earn it.
It's so bad.
You need to lose some weight, okay? Summer's right around the corner.
One of my employers, one of my freelance people just had a baby, so I went to get a box of truffles to send him and his wife, and I saw that stuff that you like on the counter, and I was like, oh no.
Are you talking about Butter Crunch?
Yeah, Butter Crunch.
Yeah, Butter Crunch.
Yeah, I know. I looked up a recipe for it, man.
Butter Crunch is so good.
I'm obsessed. It's so good.
Butter Crunch is otherworldly.
That's my favorite holiday treat. Like, I know that they make it all year, but like around Christmas, instead of like the Christmas cookies and like a lot, oh my god.
Definitely.
It's so good. It's like, it doesn't need to be peppermint bark. It doesn't need to be that, you know?
If anyone in chat is ever vacationing on Cape Cod, there's a town called Falmouth. The shop is called Ben and Bill's Chocolate Emporium. They used the old chocolate recipe from the 1800s before it was full of sugar. So it's sweet and it tastes really good, but it's not like too sweet. It's not like if you get a candy bar and it like hurts your face. It's so sweet. It's the old kind of like savory chocolate. It's so good. But yeah, if you go there, they have all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. It's like candied orange peel dipped in dark chocolate and like amazing stuff. But they also have lobster ice cream, which do it if you want, I guess. But yeah.
Lobster ice cream.
Yeah. It's like their most popular ice cream.
Oh, I want to try that.
Yeah, that's like people go in
Butter
just to
Crunch
try
ice cream?
Lobster ice cream.
Lobster ice
What?
cream.
What are you doing?
I was reading the chat.
Oh,
What?
okay. Yeah, the place sells lobster ice cream.
Like the lobster meat, not like the lobster tails, like the pastries.
It's like a, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a custard based ice cream with chunks of actual lobster in it.
What the fuck? That's wild.
Yeah. It's like their most famous thing.
So strange.
Apparently people love it.
That throws me off. But you know what?
Okay,
something. I've seen this like a couple times on TikTok. It's like this. It's like a Brazilian drink, I think, and it's like a hot chocolate with cheese in it, and that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It looks so appealing to me. Yeah, it looks so appealing. Oh, and I've never had anything like that, but I want to.
You ever had like a chocolate cake with mascarpone?
I don't think so.
like certain cheeses go really good with chocolate. I could see that.
Yeah. Oh, it just sounded so good.
I just still want licorice ice cream. Like that's
the
my
licorice
favorite.
syrup?
Like that, yeah, licorice syrup on vanilla ice cream is like so good. You wouldn't think so, but it's so good.
So many weird combinations.
Because I don't like
They're just
licorice at
perfect.
all. I like it on ice cream.
Yeah.
Man,
Cracky says, Dave, have your ADs ever gave you too much workload for a tight deadline, like a day? If so, has it happened often, and how do you deal with those situations?
yeah, I talk about that a lot. How I used to work in like advertising, and a lot of those jobs were 24 hours. So in those deadlines, I just charge extra, and then, you know, just get ready for a really long work day.
Very rarely you'll get something that's literally impossible and you have to bring somebody else on and divvy up the work. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't happen often, but like I've called Dave before and Dave's called me before, and I've called other people I know that do what we do, and it's like, I just got this thing, the money's really good, they need it tomorrow morning, and I'll do the top half, you do the bottom half, like I guess, and we'll split it because it's literally impossible.
Yeah,
But,
that thing about it, like when
I've tried to tell Dave to throw me in. I was like, throw me in, coach. I could do this.
Do it.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'll
I'll
help.
chain
I'll do
mail.
whatever
You
it
do-
takes.
I'll render the chainmail, coach. I can do it.
um,
I'm not scared.
like when I got asked to do that Destiny comic, I was like, to make this deadline with the amount of detail I'm doing on each
Oh yeah.
comic page, I was like, I need Dan to help me do flats for colors. Like just doing all the color fills, it takes so much time.
It takes forever.
So it's like, especially on something that's super detailed, and
So like
yeah,
on the Steve books, the line art and the coloring, the line art's way harder to do. Like the skill level it takes and the amount of work that goes into it, Dave's doing more work, but somehow the colors end up taking the same amount of time. Because you have to zoom in and get the contours of all the characters perfect. They have to be layered right. Things can't be on the same layer if they have to be separated. Like there's so much meticulous like layering things and putting them into folders and stacking the folders the right way. Like
I'm
it's
also
just,
kind
yeah.
of a crazy person with like how I like PSDs. So I'm like,
It makes
Dan,
sense,
could
though.
you do this, Dan? And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, just retain all information at all times.
Every character is a folder with a flat and then a multiply on top with all the sub colors, and each color is its own layer, and it's like you got to be organized in priority by cell. It's like it
Well,
makes sense, but
The point of it was, in case we ran into any issues with printing, that we could have every aspect of the book isolated. So if it needed
Yes.
fixes, you could just go in and fix it all in like 2 seconds.
literally
so
every
at least
color
it's
is
set up
its own
for
dedicated
errors.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
'Cause you
forgot
will
about that.
run
That
into
was so
issues.
fucking crazy. That was so crazy when you guys did that, and you had like color code, all of
Yeah.
Well,
I
you-
remember that.
you
I
would
remember
think-
seeing that.
Like you think that you can work certain ways, but like when it came to like specifically, we had a color for Steve Lichman that was
Oh
really
my God.
specific, and that
Yeah.
was like our first one. Our first, like all our comics online looked a certain way, but that color you can't print it because it's not like a CMYK color. And then CMYK colors, you can get kind of close to it, but it's actually sometimes a little easier to use Pantones. So I had to go through a whole like Pantone book to find a color that matched as close as possible to the initial Steve color. And that took a little bit of time. And then it was a matter of always checking every single comic page and being like, okay, what's the closest you can get to that color that you want to use in CMYK with Pantones? And that was like a lot of it was like, planning out books that way. Because
Man,
otherwise
weirdly-
they would print out all weird and gray.
Weirdly though, as meticulous as it sounds, I really love doing that. Like waking up early, making a pot of coffee, putting on something that you want to listen to, like a long podcast or retrospective, and just coloring lines all day is weirdly peaceful. It feels like at the end of the day, like if you get 6 pages done at the end of the day, that's huge. That's like it feels like you did a lot. It's like a weirdly satisfying thing, but Yeah, it's definitely meticulous.
Yeah, that's fun.
EJ Fudd said, hate to be a downer, but Kim, my dad's leg recently got really swollen and he can't walk, but the shitty doctors haven't even done a blood test. Says his leg feels like it's full of fiberglass. Thoughts? Okay. You said leg, singular, which leads me to believe that he has just swelling on one side, one leg. Which, when you think of swelling, you have to think about like the circulatory system. You have to think about fluids, how they move. And if it's only swelling on one side, it's probably pooling because there's some sort of pump failure. It's not pumping back up, maybe, potentially, or something's happening with fluid accumulation of some sort. Look, I'm not a doctor, but I would say you would kind of want to look into those systems, like your circulatory system. Or your some sort of like maybe a lymphatic system, one of those things. It's kind of hard to say without more information. The feeling like full of fiberglass is probably because of the tightness of the swelling, like the skin being very tight. It becomes very painful. I would say like stay moisturized in that area, especially protect the skin. It's more fragile if there's more fluid accumulation. And see a doctor for sure that will do something about that, because it's pretty serious. It could be like a sign of heart failure. Not that that's happening. Again, not a doctor. But I'm just saying things that you would want to think about.
Also, to give a little bit of context, Kim did work in an ICU.
Yes.
Yeah.
A nurse, not just like,
I'm a nurse.
If you're wondering like, hey,
Kim's my primary
what's
care.
happening right now? Kim's not just randomly giving medical advice.
But I did
Kim's
say I'm
been
not a
my-
doctor multiple times.
Yes.
So that's
Kim's
very
been my-
clear.
Kim's been my primary care for about 2 years now. I don't know how I feel about this. Jammin says there's boba places to put cheese foam on top of the boba.
Oh, it's really
Oh my god,
good.
it's the best, Dan.
No,
It is
How
so
is
good.
that
don't
good?
say
Shut the
don't
fuck
say
up.
I don't
No,
know how I
shut
feel about
up,
it. It's
Dan.
like the only
Shut
way to
up.
drink it.
Shut up, Dan. Don't you dare talk about those drinks. They're delicious.
What kind of cheese?
That's like the
Okay,
best
think about it
way
this way.
to have it.
I will tell you. Do you know like a cheese Danish? It's like a sweet, creamy
marshmallow.
cheese.
Yeah,
like
sweet cream cheese. Okay. Okay,
it
I
doesn't
can
have
see
to be.
that.
It doesn't have to be Mars Capone.
It's like a sweet cream cheese.
Yes, it's very like
Okay.
light and fluffy because they like whip it, and it's like watered down a little bit too with milk, and
Where
and
do
it's
I
like a
get
little
that?
bit salt. It's like sweet, but it's a little bit salted.
Most
A lot of boba places, do,
places
it.
do it.
If you have a Happy Lemon over
It's
near
like
you,
a cheese cat.
oh my god, it's so good.
It's
Ugh.
great. I mean, that's
gotta go
literally
find
the
that.
best way of having it to me.
Yes,
It's like
it's
that
so
sweet
good.
and savory mix.
It's kind of incredible, actually.
It is incredible.
And you have to get a milk tea. You have to get
That's
a milk
true.
tea because it's good with like the creamier drinks. I
Sure.
feel like it's good on some other drinks too. Like I like it, but like if you get like whatever tea, if you get a black milk tea, a jasmine milk tea, it has to be a milk tea.
The only place around here I can get boba is that Thai food place I got you guys food from last time you were here.
You need to
Oh,
go to like an
no.
actual boba
Yeah, you have to go
place.
to
Yeah.
like a boba place, a place that just does boba,
Yeah,
not a
like, if you
restaurant
go,
that
if
does
you go
it.
to a restaurant that does that, it's never as good.
But also, restaurants usually don't do specialty stuff in their
No.
boba. It's usually like a slushy and then like boba.
But
Next time
like
I'm
the
in Boston,
restaurant
I'll find
bobas
one.
are very normal. They're
Yeah.
nothing special.
There has to be a boba place in Boston. So next time I'm up,
Oh,
I'll look for
absolutely.
it.
Fuzz
More
said
content.
maybe they're
Kim.
pleasure pigs just like us.
Kim,
Pleasure
EJ,
things.
EJ says for more context, he's got diabetes and the swelling is down at this point, but the pain is still there. Worried that it's neuropathy. Blood clots are ruled out at this point.
Neuropathy.
Neuropathy?
Yeah, neuropathy. Read that last part again. Neuropathy
Blood-
and what?
Blood clots are ruled out at this point.
Okay. Well,
Diabetes.
it's hard.
slowing
It's
down.
very hard because there's lots of factors. Like it's so many. Like, well, it could be this or it could be this. Like circulatory system isn't great on people with diabetes because what happens is they have this excess of glucose buildup in the circulatory system, and it acts as like high cholesterol, it starts causing plaque, and then you can end up having like really bad circulatory system, whether it's like causing this plaque, you know, quotes, plaque buildup in like your heart or whatever, something that's like pumping. It could also be kidney damage because your kidney processes things differently when you're a diabetic. Like, it doesn't process protein the same way, I think. Something happens, I can't remember, but your kidneys go through a lot of damage. And because of that, your kidney filters your blood. You can have like issues circulatory with that as well. And then as far as like the pain, I mean, I would say neuropathy is probably a good guess with somebody who is a diabetic. But that means that there's been some sort of, it's like, it's damage to a nerve. So it can cause pain, or it could be, I wonder if the swelling in the leg compressed the nerve enough to like have some sort of like neuropathic effect or something. I don't know. Causing like pins and needles. Neuropathy is like it's nerve pain specifically, so it feels like pins and needles. It's different than like feeling sore or bruised. It's like usually like tingling, or
it's not like
pins and needles, fiberglass. Huh?
Is it like carpal tunnel?
Carpal tunnel is like a compressed nerve, but that's more of like it's different. It is damage to a nerve, but it's similar. Yeah, I mean, like it's just like carpal tunnel is a little bit different though. And then like their nerves are also super inflamed because of all of this excess glucose as well in the like circulatory system. Yeah, there's like lots of things that could happen with diabetics. I don't know.
EJ Fudd's talking about stuff I know about now. He's talking about that sticky rice egg custard you can get with the coconut cream sauce. The best.
Yeah. Oh, mango sticky rice?
Yes.
Oh, so good.
The best when it's warm. The great, probably my favorite dessert, honestly. It's
not
so
even
good.
It's not even a custard. It's a mix of like coconut cream, or you know, like the like really thick coconut milk.
Incredible palm sugar.
And like some sweetened condensed milk, and like I think maybe a couple other things, but it's like super rich, and like it does taste custardy, but it's just
incredible.
Oh, yeah, that's like one of our favorites. So good. Did you guys get any when you guys were in Bali?
I don't think so. I didn't.
Got something like it. It wasn't the same, but I did get like a rice custard in Bali. It was something like that. It was at that place that had the boar shanks.
Nice.
Oh man.
So fucking good.
Those boar like shanks pad thai like that they had
nuts. There. Yeah.
Everything that was there was incredible.
It was so funny when it was our turn to cook, and we were like, they were like, make us American food. So we were like, what is that? I guess it's barbecue. We couldn't find pork anywhere, so we went to this Thai place and just bought like 10 boar shanks and turned them into pulled pork, and then made mac and cheese and put everybody to sleep.
Right, yeah, we made mashed potatoes out of the like purple yam things.
It was so fucking funny.
That was your guys' Thanksgiving.
Yep.
That was your Thanksgiving meal, right?
So fucking funny.
Yeah, it was like nothing but like carbs and sugar.
Yeah, everyone
devastated.
Just died after. They were like, how
people
do you do this?
Never eat this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
Making a barbecue sauce from scratch with stuff I could find in Bali was really fun though.
Mm-hmm. I did that same thing in Germany when I was stuck over there for the 4th of July when my passport got stolen at that club. I was just there, and I was like, okay, like, you guys want to have, I was like, I'm going to miss 4th of July. Do you guys want to do it here at your apartment? And they're like, sure. And then we just went to the store, and I got like a bunch of like beer and like, you know, soaked the meat in it and like all this stuff, and then made a bunch of barbecue for everybody.
That was the greatest 4th of July, too, and you weren't there for it. That was the last huge party we had at the liquor store.
Oh,
no.
So disappointing. Oh, yeah, right, yeah. We went to one. Yeah, we went to one.
But you didn't go to the crazy one. You didn't go to the one where they pulled a semi-truck in front of it and set up a projector so we could watch The Patriot on a fucking concert sound system. Yeah.
That's stupid. We didn't
And
do
then
that.
the barge with the fireworks out in the ocean, they lit it at the wrong time and the whole barge exploded. And everybody was screaming boo and getting shit-faced because there's no fireworks because they blew the barge up. It was just a wild night. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's fun.
That
yeah,
would've-
nah, I was stuck in Germany.
That was like, I don't know. My friend who's a war vet who's in the Secret Service now, he was just like holding on to my other friend, screaming, "I've seen things." He was like actually crying, like, "I've seen things. I've seen things." Okay. Just like, so I walked away, and then an hour later, I just walked around a corner and he was fucking some random girl in a bush. So then I walked away again, and then he came out from the bush 10 minutes later, shit-faced, and he put his hand on my shoulder. This kid's like 7 feet tall, and he looked down at me and he went, "The fight never stops, brother." I was like, "Where are you? What planet are you on?" "The fight never stops, brother."
After having sex in the bushes.
With
That's
some
very
random
funny.
girl. Freaking amazing. The one the year after was pretty fun too. That's when we went to that club with you guys. It was a good time.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that we were there for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was like,
and
I
it
forgot
was
we went to that thing.
Crazy. Because first of all, I've never been to the club on the East Coast, but then a small town club, I was like,
yeah.
nobody's dancing and everybody is too sober.
Angry.
This is
Everyone's
so
angry.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
There's a
like
weird
very
anger
much.
in the air.
It was very much like high school homecoming dance
Like
vibes.
just standing around.
Yeah.
It was strange. And I was like trying to have
And then,
fun.
Then you met Dave's girlfriend. Dave's
Oh,
real
yeah.
girlfriend.
Yes, I did.
Dave's original true love.
As we were eating Chinese food and he he got mad.
He put you through the test. He put you through the test to find out
He
if you
got
were cool enough
mad
to
at
date his
me.
hero.
Oh my god, he got so
His
mad.
hometown hero.
He was
great.
about to cry and we were all
Yep.
eating Chinese food. Didn't he puke too?
Yeah, probably.
I did.
No, you did.
I puked,
He puked in
I
the
puked in the
sink.
trash can.
He puked in the
Oh,
sink because
yeah.
I remember yelling at him. I was like, "You couldn't lean out the window, dude. You gotta scoop it out of the fucking sink now." The window is like right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was telling Dave how much he's like, man, you were the fun man. Seriously,
Definition of the
man.
word simp. Definition of the word simp.
Oh god.
No, you
He's
don't
like, "You're the
understand. You don't
funniest-
fucking get it. The
You're the
funniest fucking
funniest
kid I ever
guy."
met.
And the whole
No, you don't
school,
get it.
man. It
You
was
don't
the
get it.
funniest
No,
guy.
you don't.
It was so fucking funny. And then I went like, what did I say? I said something really dumb. I said, oh, thanks. And he said, no, you don't get to talk to me, you fucking Chinese. He called me Chinese.
Oh man.
He's like, or Japanese or whatever the fuck you are. And I was like, dude, I'm only half. So this is like only a little bit racist. And it's weird because I don't even look that Asian. Like, that's reaching. And he got so mad and he just kept going. He's like, whatever, you're just jealous.
He's
Like,
furious.
Hold on a second. My headphones just did something
Yeah,
really
it was-
weird.
I was
Hold on.
gonna say your audio's got screwed up.
Let me try and figure this out.
oh, okay. Do you want us to stop talking?
I don't know. I don't know if it's coming across in the streaming thing or not. Dan, can you talk? Okay, it isn't coming across. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the loop back audio got messed up or something. Let me fix that. Let me open it again.
Can I read a question?
Hold on. Dan, he talk?
What up?
Okay, it's back.
I'm here.
Scunch has a question. I'm looking to try writing and making comics, but I'm not that great at writing. Any tips on how to get started? Did you do short story comics first? I saw those Rough Cat ones Dave did.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like a lot of just
Pulling
repetition.
Yeah, and also
I can't hear you guys in the Hangout.
Oh, you can't? Let me go back to the Google Meet.
I know you're talking because I unmuted the stream, but
yeah.
I can't hear you guys in the Hangout.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Oh, I fixed it.
Okay.
All right, is that working now?
Uh-oh, where'd you go?
You there?
Dan? Hello?
Hey, what's up?
I'm on my computer. You can't hear me through
Oh.
Dave's microphone. So,
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't even know if it's getting us talking right now. If you can't hear me through the microphone, I don't know how the stream would hear me.
Dan, talk.
I can hear it on the stream. If I unmute the stream, I can hear Dave talking.
Yeah, no, it works. It's just some weird audio glitch happened.
Can you hear me, Dan?
Oh, wait, this is a really
He can't-
funny one.
He can't hear me.
Venom Tang
Kim?
said, "For fuck's sake, you're the only artist that thinks people want your wife's input for some reason." Is this that same dude?
Yep.
I love this guy.
Yeah. Oh, just another fucking loser
Well-
promoting their business.
Kim, why don't you get the fuck out of here? I'm gonna have a Red Bull and turn things
Yeah?
up a notch.
You guys. Oh, you know what? I know who Venom Tang is now.
Who?
He's the guy from the 4th of July who wanted to suck your dick.
That's
He's the
probably
one
true.
who was like, "Oh, Dave, I just fucking love you so much." And then he flew off the handle with me. It's him.
The dude rules.
Yeah.
I come here just to hear your breathy voice, and anytime your wife chimes in, it just sends me into a spiral.
It makes my dick soft. Hearing a woman's voice makes me so unaroused.
Makes me irrationally angry.
This fucking bitch. Who does she think she is?
I love this guy. I won't ban you or anything. I like you. I want you to stick around. I like your commentary. I think it's funny. Hold on, Dan. I'm gonna rejoin this Google Meets. Can you stay in it? I don't know if you can hear me.
I don't know.
Hey Dan,
Man.
can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, now you can hear both of us.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I can actually hear you. What's up? Hey,
Nah, man. There's lots of cool artists that stream, and it's about the art. Oh, I'm not
oh,
here
we're talking
to-
about Venom. We talking about Venom Tang?
Yeah, he's my
Uh-huh.
favorite.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
my
I
favorite
didn't-
type of vibe.
That's the
but-
first thing I was gonna ask you. Is he being serious or is he trolling?
He's just,
Yeah.
he's probably being serious.
Yeah.
Dave,
I
can
mean,
you
he's-
Hat over the eyebrows.
are you using OBS right now? I think I know what's wrong, Dave. Are you using OBS?
No, I fixed it all.
Well, no. There's a major thing. Are you on OBS?
What?
Can you make an overlay that says "No girls allowed" and stick it in the corner? Like we're in a treehouse and we're all 13.
Yeah,
Throw
and
that up
also,
there for-
I don't want to just do a thing where all I talk about is art. Just
Yeah,
watch me.
fuck
Just
that.
watch me paint. Who gives a shit? It's like so. I've been talking about art for almost 20 years. I don't want it to be the only thing I do.
Yeah,
And also,
that's
it's
such a
not
good way
like
to put it.
it's not like it matters. It's like you can ask me a question. If you have a question, Venom Tang, ask it, and then you'll hear me exclusively talk about art. Or if you have a
Also-
question about, you know,
Nursing stuff. I'm
Limp
here.
Bizkit.
I'm here, unfortunately.
Cool artist
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the stream.
So,
Yeah, if you have a question about your period, Kim's here.
There you go. I mean, right off the bat, cool artists that stream, that's hit or miss. There's really any cool artists. I don't know. That's, you know.
That's true.
Speaking, yeah, speaking as a person,
Who are the cool artists you're
Yeah.
talking about?
speaking as a guy whose friends are exclusively artists, I wouldn't call any of them cool. Like,
Are they the ones without wives? Is that
I'm
why
just
their
saying,
stupid,
even-
silly
even-
wives aren't there?
Even Dave, I'm not like, oh yeah, my best friend Dave, he's so cool. Like, I'm not, I don't know, man. Like, he draws goblins in a shady room for cash. Like, it is what it is, but
Cash.
I wouldn't exactly call it cool. It's a cash for goblin business, you know?
Well, I'm really mucking it up. All you fucking cool guys.
Wesley Edwards says, I'm the only one here for the crypto advice, so I don't see the problem.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Just crypto guys.
So Fuzzy says, I bet this guy wears an empty holster in public.
And they've got to shave our heads and get aviators and get on camera and talk about the red pill while we do art.
I know.
You guys know that in 99% of divorce cases, women get the children. I hate women. Did you guys know that? I knew that.
Fucking women.
I fucking hate them. Did you know that women only go for high-value men? And according to Tinder, 100% of women go after 1% of guys.
Whoa.
Fucking women, am I right?
That is crazy.
Wait, hold on. But Riley said, yeah, I checked. There is none. This one is pretty good. Even though you have to hear his wife talk about hair and yoga and all that shit. Oh, Riley, you listen. You remembered.
True.
That's so sweet. That is so sweet of you.
Real problem is if you don't have quality feminine energy in your personal life and you come on a stream like this, it's really jarring when the stream ends because then you feel more alone.
No.
That's my theory.
Oh my god.
That's true. Daniel Bruno has a good take. Venom Tang is the kind of guy girls want to be with and guys want to be.
True. That is very true.
King curses, you guys talking about edibles convinced me to go out and buy some. I ended up taking some at work and it made it so much more tolerable. I hope you don't do anything that requires safety. Because right now I couldn't operate machinery.
I hope you don't do anything that requires safety. It's such a good sentence.
It's just very dumb.
If
You know what? Venom's right.
you guys want to talk about high value,
Venom's
men,
right.
I got all the talking points. We can go down the checklist.
You guys need to take edibles and get on my level, and then we'll be you're going to be thinking the same fucking thing, okay?
Yeah. Guys, you need to have a body count over 50, and you need to have 500K in the bank. You need to be 35 before you even consider getting married, okay?
Before
is
you
advice
consider
I got.
having a relationship.
It's advice I got from the Fresh and Fit podcast, okay?
The Fresh and Fit podcast. You
Listen,
know, like one of my
here's the
favorite
rule.
things is guys who give guys advice.
it's the best.
Guys who give guys advice is like
My favorite.
so
oh my God.
entertaining.
My favorite thing ever. Oh, this is so specific. If anyone in chat knows what I'm talking about, if they don't, whatever. But that Fresh and Fit podcast, someone asked why he was qualified to give advice on being an alpha male, and he's like, "Do you want to hear about the time I pulled 3 girls in one night? Do you want to hear about the time I pulled 3 girls in one night?" And they were like, "Yeah, go ahead." The story was he met a basketball player, went to the basketball player's house for a party, and the basketball player said, "I hired all these girls, just fuck whoever you want," and he fucked 3 girls. It's just like delusion. On like you didn't pull 3. Like you didn't go to the club and organically pull women. Your rich friend threw some whores at you. What are you doing? Like
Amazing.
it's so fucking funny. I pulled 3
That's
women.
insult
that night.
behavior.
I'm a high value man. Like it's so fucking
That's
funny to
insult
me.
behavior.
We gotta start the HVM podcast, Dave. The high value men.
I do like to think there should be a warning before the stream that women be talking.
Yeah, women danger. Women be talking.
Incel is involuntarily celibate, right?
Celibate.
Yeah.
So this guy is an infuck, like involuntarily fucked, because they were paid, right? Like they didn't want to.
Well,
Or is that rape?
who knows?
Involuntarily fucked is definitely rape.
Okay, never mind.
But
I try to make a connection.
Who knows? It's just like it's such a weird gray area.
Honestly, I just like saying these dumb things just to make Venom Tang's blood boil.
It's like when I lived with the call girl in Dartmouth, and I was like, "So you don't enjoy having sex with the guys that hire you?" And she's like, "No, I love it. I wouldn't do this if I didn't love it." And I was like, "What?" Like, I hear so much conflicting stuff from so many people. It's just like, yeah, I don't know.
King Chris said also.
Viewer. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, King Chris said, "Dave, can you shut the fuck up? I want to hear more Kim." you get quite a lot. It's fine.
I'll mute her mic. Don't worry.
Don't ruin this for me, okay? It's the only thing I have going on a Thursday night. I was making a 4-year-old's party favors with Spider-Man cookies, okay? Okay? Don't fucking ruin this for me, okay, King Curse? Jesus Christ.
It's true. Anytime Kim says anything, we should go, nah, not Kim, nah, nah.
Boo.
Nah, Kim, nah.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Do you have one of those soundboards where you could press, like, the whole audience booing?
Yeah.
It's like a
I'm
pre-recorded thing.
I'm gonna start a podcast called Low T. It's such a good name. It's such a good podcast. The Low T podcast. Estrogen alert. Yeah, that's great.
Riley says that he wants to jump ship. Blood in, blood out. Boy, what you talking about?
Mm.
Is poutine as kick-ass as I hear it is? That's what Mooney asks Kyle.
I want to sleep. Yeah, it's like.
I mean, that's
good.
a gravy on fries
With
like,
cheese curds?
cheese.
Oh
nuts,
my
dude.
god. It is delicious.
It
is delicious,
man.
but it's like, I don't know.
Didn't we have a duck
It's too much.
poutine once?
We did have duck poutine.
Oh
It was
my
incredible.
god, it was so
I
good.
had Korean short rib poutine last week. It was great, but then I wanted
Oh
to
yeah,
sleep
you told me.
for a
Oh.
week. Yeah, it's super good, but afterwards you just want to lay down.
I feel that way about mostly like pastas, I would say. Mostly
that
like
was, like,
lasagnas and stuff.
Carby heavy foods just like annihilate me. I can't do it. I can't do any of that. Like when I think back to what I used to do, like in Boston, like drinking all the time, I'm like, man, I used to drink beers and stuff, which is already like eating a whole loaf of bread.
Yeah,
And then after that, going back home and ordering a buffalo chicken pizza that just had what was
not
it?
even-
Blue cheese dressing.
Yeah, blue cheese dressing baked into it, and then
Yep.
not eating like a little bit. Like I ate the whole pizza, like just after all that, and then I would just black out, like just
Yep.
vanish from the earth, and then I'd wake up the next morning and order like a ton of barbecue, and like
Barbecue? Oh my god.
yeah, in the morning because I was like, man, this hangover, and I would go.
Yeah.
This hangover is brutal. Just order barbecue with mac and cheese that had cornflake crust on top,
Mhm.
and just crush that whole thing too, and like a huge thing of barbecue.
And I'm
Like-
the fat one.
Yeah,
the-
dude,
Oh my god, man!
it was devastating. I used to eat chicken parmesan pizza, which was just a cut up chicken parmesan sub, basically, on a pizza.
I made chicken
will
parm
say-
pizza, but the whole pizza was the chicken parm.
Oh yeah,
That's
that was
what it is,
really
but
good.
Quality Italian, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say buffalo chicken calzone is, I'm depressed if you see that in the house.
Oh yeah. I mean,
if there's
that's
a
like
buffalo
a
chicken
loaded gun.
calzone, yeah, I'm on the edge if you see that.
That'd be like finding a noose on the counter.
I think that for me is like hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
Just like the shit food that I could eat, and I know that it's hurting me, and I know that's hurting my stomach, but I can't stop. But it's like a
Dude.
low moment.
I make this dish. Okay, so my extended family, whenever I go to like a thing, they always ask me to make this thing that I didn't know had a name. Someone used to make it, and I started making it. I learned from them, and then I found out later it's called funeral potatoes. It's like a Mormon thing that they bring
I
to
know,
funerals.
I know.
Oh,
what
those
you're
are
talking
so good.
I make them from scratch, and I can go through the ingredients right now. I can't eat it. If I have 2 bites of it, I will literally get so sick. Like, there's a whole block of cream cheese. There's a whole can of cream of chicken soup, a whole can of cream of mushroom soup, whole bag of shredded Parmesan cheese, whole bag of shredded cheddar cheese. There's sour cream. There's fried potato hash browns. There's cornflake crust that's cooked in butter on top. It's fucking insanity. Like, people love it. I don't know how people eat it.
Yeah, that's
It's
also a
so
food that I
good.
was excluded from. I remember like
It's so good.
my whole
guys.
childhood I did not eat out ever. Like my family never went to a restaurant, and I only started going to restaurants when I was like 15 or something, or right around that age when I actually had a job and friends who also went places and ate food. So like I had never had that kind of food. So I didn't know how sick I got from just food at restaurants. I had no idea. And we would go to like Friendly's and get, which is like a restaurant in the Northeast. It's just kind of like a, I don't know, what you compare it to like a Denny's or something. It's like one of those types of places. And I would get just whatever from there, like normal stuff, and then like a huge basket of like waffle fries. And I remember like the first couple times going, being like, wow, this has always existed. Like, holy shit. Like my parents never did any of this. I was like, this is crazy that I have all this food. And this, every time I'd get diarrhea, just nonstop. I couldn't leave the restaurant. And I was like, what is happening to me? It's because I didn't grow up with it like at all. So all that like processed food and stuff, I had just never consumed any of it. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was like, why am I like allergic to all food all of a sudden? Like I didn't make the connection that it was food at restaurants. Like I didn't, I just was like, something happened to my stomach between like my childhood and my teen years. I don't know what it is.
When we were 16, you were convinced that you were allergic to MSG. You were like, "That has to be that." And
I
it
still
was,
think
like,
I am.
And then you thought you were allergic to dairy, and like it, yeah, you would get great. Like I'd get sick too, but you would get insanely sick. Like,
Yeah, it's literally just any food that's cooked in like oil.
yeah,
Too much oil or whatever. Just fucked me up so bad. And then I realized like after that, after like I got some money and started eating at nice restaurants, I was like, oh, there's levels to food. I was
my
like,
entire
you can go to
concept-
like fancy restaurants and not get diarrhea. That's amazing.
my whole concept of what health is supposed to be was fucked from like the very beginning of my life because 2 words, Cracker Barrel. My dad's idea of breakfast was Cracker Barrel, and it's like you can't have a normal breakfast there. It's impossible. It's like, yeah, you can have an omelet, and it comes with toast, and it comes with pancakes, and it comes with cheesy hash brown casserole, and it comes with this, and it comes with
It comes
that.
with like a buffet,
And-
actually.
And my dad would take us there, and if we didn't eat everything on the plate, he would hit us because he was wasting money. He would like literally, he'd like eat your fucking food. Like if you ate your like, if you got a burger and fries and you ate the burger, if you ate the fries before the burger, he would literally slap it out of your hand. He'd be like, eat the burger and then eat the fries. Don't fill up on fucking fries. I paid for a burger. So like my idea
That's
of health
really
early-
funny.
it's so insane. It's like my idea of breakfast from a young age was like, oh, breakfast is 7 things, and then you don't eat for like till fucking dinner. And it's like, no, of course you feel like shit all day if you're eating that. Like what?
Yeah, I remember my first encounter with a lumberjack breakfast where you had like 15 things on a plate. I
Fucking
was
insane.
like, holy shit. They just pound through that. But like when you're a 16-year-old or something like that, like that's pretty great because you can eat everything. I mean, you can eat, you can actually eat that and
Yeah.
survive and not, collapse. But yeah.
Like that's more food than like one of those meals at Cracker Barrel is more food than I eat in a day now. And it used to be a meal. Like I eat less than that in a whole day. Like those meals
Yeah.
are insane.
Especially
it would
when
always
you're a
be-
kid and you don't control when you eat meals like
Dude.
your parents do.
I hate making fun of it because it's my favorite. It's like one of my favorite childhood foods. Like it's so nostalgic and I love it, but I have to make fun of it. The idea of chicken fried steak with sausage gravy and biscuits as a meal is fucking nuts. Let's take red meat, batter it, deep fry it, cover it in sausage gravy. Like, absolutely insane. Like, we'd have it like twice a week when I was a kid, and they acted like it was normal. Like, my dad would make it all the time because he owned a breakfast restaurant. It was just like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah, that's
I thought that
something
was normal.
Riley said that you both should challenge me, where I'm forced to defend all women on whatever issues you made up in your head.
It's a very good idea.
Could do that.
But then he also
Podcast.
said he asked Venom Tang what his skull measurements are.
Oh no! Oh no!
Riley's.
Oh,
I told you,
no.
blood in, blood out. Riley's here. He's here till the end.
Dude, red steak. I hate that it's so good. I'm furious at how good it is because it is the most unhealthy thing I think you can eat.
But I think that's just because you grew up with it. Like, to me, I've had that before, and it's so gross to me. Like, I don't think, like, the like, grease and stuff, and then, like, the red meat and, like, the fattiness and everything, like, it's just so rich that it's really gross to me. But I
wish
think if you
felt
grow
that
up
way.
with it, you're like, you know, like, oh, I
Yeah.
like this.
The idea that you can have mashed potatoes with breakfast it should be illegal. Like that that shouldn't be a thing. Mashed potatoes shouldn't be allowed to be something you can have at 6 a.m. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, chicken fried steak is nuts.
My
That's so
go-to
extreme.
order at Village Inn was pork chops and eggs.
There you go.
Pork chops.
Pork
For
chops.
breakfast?
Breakfast. Huh.
Hmm. That's weird. Were they fried or anything?
Like, yeah, like grilled or whatever.
Yeah.
That is weird. I've never heard of pork chops in the morning. I've never had.
But we, like, this is the other thing, too. Like, when I grew up, we ate breakfast like how my mom grew up eating breakfast. So it's like we just ate meals in the morning. We didn't eat, like, there wasn't, like, foods just for breakfast. Like,
Right.
we ate, like, noodle soups, like, often. That is a go-to for me for breakfast. Like, pho was actually mostly consumed in the morning because they would cook all night, and then you'd eat it as a breakfast food. But everyone eats it as, like, dinner or lunch even.
But in Vietnam, they eat it for breakfast.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But like
Dude.
I grew up eating like ramens. That is a breakfast to me.
I
Ramen
could see.
in my head is a breakfast food category. It is not a lunchtime meal. It's not a dinner. It's that to me in my head is in the same category as eggs.
The only thing I can eat for breakfast now that I like actually enjoy is I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. Is it muesli?
What is it?
What?
It's muesli. It's the
don't know
overnight
what that
oats
is.
thing where you put almond milk in rolled oats with like berries and nuts, and you let it sit overnight, and it becomes like a pudding in the morning.
Oh, I just call it overnight oats.
It's like so good. It's like the only thing I can eat that doesn't make me feel sick in the morning.
Yeah, I make that for the boys, and then like we just microwave it and add like a little extra milk.
Yeah.
I just
I
go
love it.
for
You could
I go
do-
for a run and then eat a boiled egg.
Yeah.
And then that's my breakfast. That's all it is.
Dude, it was like the Russian roulette of which parent was going to be home when I was a kid. Like, if I woke up and my mom was home, breakfast was half a grapefruit and like toast or an English muffin with jelly or something. It was like very simple, maybe a fried egg if you asked for it. If my dad was home, it was like chicken fried steak, biscuits, fucking an omelet. Like, it would just be like a fucking spread of just the worst possible stuff. And then you'd have to eat that and then get on the bus and go to school and like function somehow. Fucking nuts.
Yeah, I remember like
That's insane.
my whole like
Feel
childhood,
awful.
like when I didn't have any food, which is like a lot. Like in my house, we like barely had meals. So like what I ate or what I was like what I remember eating from being a kid is just so dumb. It was like English muffin with peanut butter and banana was like a regular meal for me, and that would be like a meal. And if we had that, and then the other one was like I knew how to make pancakes from Bisquick. So I would just do that and use like an egg, and like I'd eat all the pancakes, and that would be my meal. But like we just never had food when I was a kid. So like me and my brother, like when me and my brother talk about it, we're just like, when we do get food, we just eat it all. Like I still am in that habit where like if there's food in the house, I eat all of it because I'm like still wired in from being a kid of like,
When's my
I
next
probably
meal?
won't eat again. So, like me and my brother always laugh about like we were supposed to be taller than we are, but we were just so malnourished that we just stopped growing. So we just have big heads and small bodies, like large torsos and
And the
short
legs.
legs.
Yeah,
and
both
just
of you guys have shorter legs.
malnourished. Like we didn't grow enough. We didn't eat
Dude,
enough
my-
food.
My favorite, I mean, in retrospect, favorite memories. I was like 8, and we were late for the bus. We woke up super late, and my dad didn't have time to cook a huge feast. So he was like, "What do you want to eat? What the fuck do you want to eat? You want Eggos? What do you want?" And I was like, "Just give me cinnamon toast." And like, I was getting ready for the bus, and my dad, with his glasses are off, he's legally blind. He was born fully blind, and they did a bunch of corrective surgeries on him, and like his eyesight sucks. But I ran out the door. He gave me the toast, and I got on the bus, and I ate it, and I immediately thought I was gonna vomit. And I opened up the bus window and threw the toast out and spit. And the bus driver was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I didn't realize what it was till later. He thought cumin said cinnamon, and he just poured cumin all over it. Gave it to me.
And you
I
thought
took
it was
this-
cinnamon.
I folded it in half, and I took this huge bite, like, man, I just immediately was like, retched my whole body. I was like, I
Wait.
couldn't read it.
Before we go on from these subjects, I want to add on to Dan's thing about his family cooking foods. So the first time I went to Dan's house and had dinner there, I was fucking shocked. Like
Remember?
I had never, like, my family barely ate, and like when I went to Dan's house for a regular dinner in the middle of the week, it was everything. Like it was a spread like Thanksgiving at my house would have been.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
it
the
was-
big
like
celebration.
sides, like food, like, but like
I might be remembering where,
trays
wasn't
out
it-
with food. It was
Like serving
shocking.
platters.
Yes.
Wasn't it stuffed chicken?
I don't know. There was stuffing. You had like stuffing, mashed potatoes. There was like
It
a
was
gravy
stuffing, mashed
boat.
potato. Yeah, it was roast chicken with cranberry sauce from the bog, sweet potato, mashed potato, stuffing, green bean casserole. like,
Yes, all
yeah,
of
yeah.
that in
I
one
ha-
regular meal.
I had a
Spring roll.
ham spring roll once for dinner.
Yeah.
Ham, you guys. Times were tough. Although I think that I grew up pretty lucky because my mom was one of 9 children, and the only person that worked was my grandpa, and he was a janitor at a grocery store. And my grandma was able to like cook and feed all of them. Not a lot, but she was able to do it, you know?
And cook good food.
Dude,
And so my mom was really good at that, even though we didn't have a lot of money. I feel like that was one thing that we were
Like
very,
good poverty food.
yeah, like it would be cheap cuts of meat and stuff, but all you need is like the right seasoning. And it was so good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's compare because now I'm curious. What's the most like ghetto or like white trash meal you would ever get sent to school with?
Cinnamon sugar toast. White trash meal. I never got sent to school with a meal. Number one. So that's
Okay.
white trash where I just didn't eat.
That is
Okay,
white
wait, now I'll
trash.
tell you mine.
Dude, mine was. I don't even want to say it. Go ahead.
Mine was like a cup of noodle and styrofoam.
Spam. You eat spam all the time.
That's not ghetto. That's good.
Spam is ghetto.
Mine was a can of Hormel corned beef hash, cold, with a spoon.
Oh, hell no.
That's so gross.
Dude.
Dude, all of those like what were those like, they weren't Encore, but they were like the meal where you'd get a tray of chicken parms.
That was Encore.
Is it Encore? Okay, and you just like
Yeah,
could microwave them
Encore.
and they turn into
like-
paste.
For like $1.99, you get 8 chicken patties stuffed with cheese and tomato.
Dude, I'd be a little kid
God.
watching like Nightmare on Elm Street, just
Yep.
eating a whole tray of that.
Yeah.
Just a whole tray by myself. Being like, "Ooh, this is the worst."
That was like anytime I would get sick when I was living in Boston, there was that convenience store on the corner, and they had those in the freezer, and it was like, well, I guess it's time to eat some Encore chicken parm and be a fucking 3-year-old again.
I remember being like so hyped that I finally had money as a little kid, like after doing something like mowing a lawn or whatever, and then going like taking a bike to the convenience store and getting a honey bun and being like, this is fucking everything. Like, this is why people have money.
We had like a little snack bar at my middle school, and everybody was there. They all lined up there because we had those little personal pizzas.
Oh yeah,
that you can microwave,
like the Red Baron kind of pizzas,
or like
So
Tony's
good.
or whatever. Yeah, they were so good, and that's what I ate every single day. Well, hold on, every single day for like at least a year in middle school, I had a personal pizza, Arizona green tea, and some hot Cheetos.
Oh, that's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Shout out to Celeste
Okay, not every day.
Pizza.
I'd have to save lunch money.
I want to shout out to Celeste Pizza.
Dude, shout out to
We love
Elios.
you. Elios, Mr. P's. Shout out. We
Elios is
love you.
fucking nasty, but it was good when I was a kid. Man.
One of the other white trash foods my dad would make that I loved, very unhealthy, of course, but he would make a version of mac and cheese where it was just half and half, slices of American cheese melted in the half and half over in a skillet, and then spaghetti and black pepper.
Dude,
Oh my god.
dude, my
Jeez.
mom's favorite type of hamburger to eat at cookouts was a burned hamburger. She wanted it to be burned, and therefore I ate burned hamburgers. Like she burned hamburgers and hot dogs, and they were just charred, like black.
Crunchy.
And I'd be and dry, and I'd cover it in ketchup because it was so dry. I needed
Yeah.
to bring some sort of moisture back to it, and like I just grew up thinking like, oh, that's why McDonald's is king.
Yeah.
They make real hamburgers, and this is just trash.
Quote unquote real.
Yeah, I had no idea. You remember the first time you had like a hamburger at a restaurant, like a fat restaurant hamburger, and you were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what?
It was
They
at,
Yeah.
make these?
it was at Friendly's. I remember it. It was incredible. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
and you're
man.
like blown away. Like,
You want to know
holy
what
shit.
mine was? Mine was a Mexicali burger, and it
Oh,
was
that's
like
pretty
smothered in green chili. It was so fucking good.
Damn.
Yeah, I missed that whole time period when you're getting out of your tiny small town world. I guess it's specific to if you're living in the suburbs in like a very small town and you have limited exposure to stuff. Like I miss the adventure part of like leaving that area and starting to like when you have a car and you can go like,
Yeah.
well, let's try Indian food. Like let's try
Yeah.
Japanese, like sushi for the first time. Like because
Remember
my
the first
parents
time-
never did anything. Like they never ate
the-
anything.
Right.
Remember the first time we had Thai food, Dave? That weird little place in Kingston across from
Yes.
Stinky Monkey?
Absolutely. It's
I was like,
unbelievable.
this tastes like nothing I've ever tasted ever. And it was like we went like 3 times in a week because we were like, nothing else tastes like this. Like, this is insane. This is so good.
One of Dave's favorite things to talk about is like the rice at Asian restaurants and how like when they cooked rice at home, it was never the same. And I was like, this is literally the only rice I've ever had is like good
Jasmine.
rice. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't
Yeah.
know that there was a difference between like jasmine rice and Uncle Ben's. And
Yep.
you get like Uncle Ben's, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like,
This is
it
not-
is not the rice that I get
Yeah, it's not the same.
when I order chicken katsu. Like, what the
Why is
fuck
my
is this?
Zatarans dinner from New Orleans not the same as the basmati?
Yeah, and I remember thinking like, and also I was a big nerd at the time, so like I wanted to eat rice like Goku ate rice in Dragon Ball Z. Like I'd watch him eat like 6 bowls of rice, just scarf it down, and I'd be like, fuck, I want to do that. Like that looks so good. And also those rice balls with like the cherries inside and stuff,
Yep.
or those like triangles or whatever. Like
Those look weird.
those are so
Yeah.
fucking good.
Handheld ones.
I've always wanted to try that. I've never had one. I know because on
We've
Pokemon
had
they'd
some.
always dub it over, and he'd be like, "Ash, you got to try one of these donuts," and it like wasn't a donut. Like I always wanted to try one because it looked so good, but I had no idea what the fuck they were called.
The first time I had like an
Isn't it
authentic one was
onigiri?
in Japan. Yeah.
Onigiri. What are they
I had
filled with?
one. You can get
You
there's
can get like
multiple
savory,
ones.
you could get sweet, you could get Like
when I was stuck at
ones.
that airport, in Japan, they had like a pretty nice like store with like a bunch of those, and I just got like a ton of them.
I would have
just
lost
ate
my
so
mind.
much. That and like their chocolate covered potato chips were like unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I remember you really want to get me
I
those.
crushed those for like, I don't know, however many days I was there. I loved it. It was so good. They had so many good foods.
Arturo said, Dave, Dan, and Kim, French toast, cinnamon rolls, pancakes, and waffles. One has to go. Which one?
So what is it? French toast, cinnamon rolls, and pancakes?
And waffles.
I'd get rid of waffles.
Pancakes. What?
I'd get rid of waffles.
I got
Wait,
rid of
there's
pancakes.
pancakes and waffles on this? I
Uh-huh.
feel like you should choose one of those.
Yeah.
Because that they're too similar.
Pancakes.
No, I'm saying like remove one from the choice.
Oh.
You know, like, because those are pancakes and waffles are so close.
Okay, so yeah, I see what Dave's saying. So let's say there's cinnamon rolls, there's waffles, and there's French toast. Which one do we get rid of?
I would get rid of cinnamon rolls.
Mm-hmm. I don't care for the icing, but I do like the flavor.
I was going to
So
get rid of
French toast
cinnamon
gives that
rolls
for me.
in the first round. Because cinnamon rolls are like, they make me, like, for how good they, like, if I were in a magic world where cinnamon rolls didn't make me want to shit blood, then maybe it'd be cinnamon rolls. And if it also didn't make me feel fat as shit and like greasy.
On. Remember my brioche cinnamon rolls? My homemade brioche cinnamon rolls?
No, I'm saying they're incredible, but like, it's almost like a drug. Like it being like, hey, do you want cocaine or something like that? It's like one of these options is cocaine. Like they're at one of them's a ham sandwich and cocaine. Which one you're getting rid of? Cocaine.
The problem for me is when cinnamon rolls are really good, they're better than anything. But when French toast is really bad, it's worse than anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, French toast is nasty.
Like wet, bad French
that's
toast.
a good point.
So like I don't know how to judge the two because
or when
really
it's too
good
eggy,
roll,
like a French toast that's too eggy and soggy.
When a really good cinnamon roll is like hot fresh, it's like amazing. But when you get bad French toast, there's nothing worse.
I'm still getting rid of cinnamon rolls, just because it's like getting rid of a loaded gun.
No, you're right, Dan.
I don't know.
No, I agree. Buy French toast. I love waffles. I would
waffles. Say that I'd get rid of French toast just because I don't eat it. Like I never crave French toast.
Yeah,
like it's like when I was a little kid, French toast.
The only way you could control this is if you were like, okay, we're gonna do Gordon Ramsay's French toast, Ina Garten's fucking cinnamon rolls. Like you'd have to show me the specific ones because I've had a lot of bad French toast, but I've had some really good French toast.
I could never give up like pancakes though. Like pancakes at a really nice diner.
Oh, I was just thinking about those blueberry pancakes that we had.
Yeah, there's this really nice pancake parlor in New Hampshire that we went to. That's like famous. Really
those
good.
Were really good. Oh my god, those were good.
Yeah, they had like a specific one. What was the one that was weird? That was like incredible. They had like a weird batter.
Like a spelt flour. It was like a weird flour.
It was something that like they said nobody orders this, but it's the one that won all the awards.
Yeah. It was super good.
It was real strange. It was like something that you wouldn't want to order, but
buckwheat flour.
Yeah, buckwheat
flour is super good.
But it was fucking awesome.
They make a thing with buckwheat flour here. It's a regional thing called a gid cake. That's like one of my favorite things. Like they have them at that place, Dave Steiner here, the Phantom Gourmet rated place. It's like a pancake made with buckwheat flour that has like granola and cranberries in it. It's like, I don't know why, it's just so good.
There's another regional thing that's only in Rhode Island. It's the special way that they make coffee milk.
Oh,
and it's almost like a malt.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so good. I mean, it's basically just like nothing but corn syrup and like coffee extract but if you go to the right place, it's pretty great. It's like its own thing.
They have coffee milk. They have a special kind of stuffy, and they have those hot dogs and Dell's lemonade. Those are like the four big.
Dell's lemonade was the one that almost ruined my uncle's life. That story at the zoo.
Frozen lemonade.
Yeah,
those are the four big.
Something about things.
The hot dogs that they make. They're these little red hot dogs called. I think they're called Red Hots. I can't remember. but they're like these regional hot dogs. But what they do is they make a meat sauce that goes on top of them, and what they do is
I know what you're talking about.
at the end of the day they take
they're
the
like
burger.
super pink colored, right?
Yeah, super pink. At the end of the day, they take the burger grill and they scrape all the bits off of it, and then they cook it down with like ketchup and tomato paste and some like some spicy spices, and they make this like it's not chili, it's like a meat sauce, and it's a Rhode Island
fucking
thing.
So good.
It's like it's
stop.
specifically
I'm so hungry.
What was that?
The stuff he's made with linguiça is the other one. That's the other Rhode Island thing.
I'm looking for. I saw a comment in here from a bit ago, talking about like a special kind of hot dog thing. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Ian said our worst food was sloppy wieners. It was tomato soup, ground beef, mini links, and Wonder Bread.
Oh boy, that's a struggle meal.
Do you remember? Maybe Dave, maybe you didn't deal with this.
What?
Do you remember the joy of? Okay, you open up the rack in the kitchen where all the cans are. You're looking.
Yes.
You're 6 years old. It's time for SpaghettiOs. Did this ever happen to you?
Of course.
The joy of finding the SpaghettiOs with meatballs and the horror of your mom accidentally buying SpaghettiOs with Franks.
Oh, dude. Yes, SpaghettiOs with Franks was fucking gross. I remember that. I hated those. I never had them at my house. I had them at friends' houses. Like if I went over to my friend's house for lunch, and they'd be like, "Oh, SpaghettiOs, like awesome!" Like SpaghettiOs, yes. But then the Franks in them, the little chopped up hot dogs.
My mom would occasionally not read the thing. She didn't realize. She'd like assumed they were all meatballs, and it's like, no, like the worst.
Yeah, we never got name brand SpaghettiOs, and we never got name brand cereal. We always got the bags. We always got the just big plastic bag of horse feed that they had, just like stuff that filled up pigs. Like that's like all we got at my house.
Hold on. Eric Weathers said, my grandma would make homemade pizza. It was ground beef, ketchup, and a slice of cheese on toast.
That's shocking.
Oh, man.
That's almost devastating.
One of my favorite things, again, this isn't like the chicken fried steak category, not healthy at all. One of my favorite white trash comfort foods is shit on a shingle. Does anyone in here?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I never had it.
My favorite thing. You just grill a piece of toast, butter it, and then you make a quick roux. You make like a little country gravy with either ground beef or sausage or even bacon, whatever you have on hand. I like it better with ground beef personally, but like it's just a little gravy with some meat served on a piece of toasted bread. I love it so much. I had that so many times as a kid.
One of my favorite things that my dad made, which was really good, was Sprite Remix.
We didn't make Sprite Remix.
I didn't tell you the recipe. Okay. There's a recipe to this. When you don't have a lot of money but you need Sprite Remix, what you do is you fill up a gallon jug halfway with Sprite Remix, and then the rest of it is water.
There you go.
And guess what? You save a little bit of money, but it doesn't taste good anymore. It's not good anymore. Yeah. We did stuff like that all the time. Just watered down drinks and stuff.
Watered down soap. Take the napkins from the restaurant because we need
all
extra.
The time.
I told Dave the other day.
Hold on. My dad didn't do that in the restaurant. At the drive-thru, my dad would go, "Can I get extra napkins?"
My mom
and then he would
too.
go, "Can I have more napkins?" And then he'd give me.
My mom has done that too.
Oh man! Okay, so
we never turned the heat on. My dad wore 6 sweatshirts.
But have you ever filled up a ketchup bottle from the grocery store with ketchup packets that you got because you've been hoarding them? Yes.
I didn't do extra work.
My mom made me do that shit, and I'm like, this is so stupid. She's like, but our drawer is full of packets, so we have to put them in the bottle.
That's dark. That might be the darkest thing I've heard this whole conversation.
Dan, you don't understand. I grew up poor.
That's wild. There's like no ketchup.
You have no fucking idea.
Okay,
you have no fucking idea how long it took.
That's so much time. This is an hourglass filling up.
Do Do you guys remember when McDonald's would serve as an option for chicken McNuggets? They would have honey as a dipping sauce.
Honey? Did they do
Yeah.
that?
At where?
Yeah, they did.
McDonald's. I
They'd
know.
have
Like,
barbecue
Yes.
Yes, honey.
Yes,
with
sweet and sour.
McNuggets. Yep.
Sweet and sour and honey.
Yes.
what?
They
Oh,
did.
okay.
Honey, dude. The honey with the McNuggets was to this day. Like if I have honey, sometimes I want McNuggets with honey. Like
I think they
it's
had
so good.
honey because I think they had it for like coffees and teas for the morning or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be like you'd go through it and be like, "You
I did
want
sweet and
sweet
sour.
and sour barbecue or honey, or like ranch or something." It was like 4 options. But my God, McNuggets with honey was just the best. Honey mixed with ketchup.
Yeah, that was a sweet and sour.
Honey mixed with ketchup.
I
I
remember
like ranch and ketchup mixed.
one of the my mom wasn't great, but occasionally she would do this it's like one of my positive memories is going to this place called More Dogs in our town, and she would get me like a huge like chicken like breakfast sandwich, and it would have I think there was like a honey that you could put on it, and then we would go drive out to a picnic table in the middle of the woods before school and sit there and be late. And I remember thinking, like, oh, this is amazing.
More Dogs is still there, and you can still get that.
Oh, that's wild. It's good. It's one of those like places where they have the flat top kind of, when they like char all the bread and stuff and all the buns and things. And when that's not a thing that happens anywhere else, it's pretty amazing when you're a kid.
What is it called again?
More Dogs.
More Dogs.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
very
that
good.
was like the beginning to like a D's nuts joke. Like, what's
Nope.
More Dogs?
No, we had a lot of like ghetto stuff, so it was hard to keep in perspective like what your food actually was at home, because like bad pizza places, bad restaurants, like that was like all we had in our town, so we never really like tasted the good stuff to like measure
You'd be
against
like,
it.
My mom would be like, "We're ordering pizza tonight," and I'd be like, "Mom, can we just go to Plymouth and go to Papagino's? I'll literally do anything. Can we not order Giorgio's? I will do anything. I'm 6. I'm 7.
Do you remember the first time that you ordered your own food?
Yes.
Like when I was a little kid, I remember calling up the pizza place that was like the only, like, the name I knew. I looked it up in the yellow pages in the phone book, and then I called them on the phone, and I had money that I had got from like mowing lawns or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a
You
little
remember
kid, and
what
I
you
was
got?
like,
I remember.
yeah, I ordered a cheese pizza. I just ordered a large cheese pizza. That was all I could afford. And I ordered French fries. But
I get it.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. I got a large cheeseburger sub with fries.
oh, I did that. That was like my subsequent ones were subs because I realized
Yeah.
that was better. But like at the time, I ordered the pizza, and I remember the feeling of being a little kid and like waiting for the delivery guy to come to the house, because obviously I can't go there, so like it'd have to be delivery. And I didn't know like what you tip. I had no idea. I was nervous. I remember waiting the whole time by the window after the call. Like I never left the window because I was like, I don't want to miss it. And I was like terrified.
Oh,
I remember
that's
being
so
so nervous to talk to the guy,
So,
like being in full panic mode.
do you
Oh,
remember
God.
when we pizza delivery guys? Did you ever deliver to a kid who was doing that? Because that happened to me a few times.
Yeah, definitely.
I would
Definitely.
never let them tip me. I would always be like, keep your tip. Like, kid, like $2 to you means so much more than $2 to me. Like, you're like 7. $2 is the whole world. Like,
I mean, you
it's-
also don't
yeah.
really even understand the concept of tipping. Like,
Yeah.
like I didn't at all. So I knew I was going to let this person down. But man, yeah, that was like so scary as a kid. I remember having like a full blown panic attack,
Absolutely.
waiting for food to come to the house.
I remember when my dad called Giorgio's once and said, "Can I just give you my card info? I order from you guys so much. I just want to be a regular." And they took it down, and then I looked in the mirror, and Bad to the Bone started playing. Because that meant I could just call and order food and pretend it was my dad who did it.
So stupid.
Riley was asking if we've ever tried mushroom ketchup.
Riley's
No, I've heard
squatting.
it's good.
And I've never tried that. I've never even
Never
heard of
tried
that.
it.
Me either.
Heard it's good.
Eric
Never tried
Revolis
mushroom
is
coffee either.
Oh yeah, me either.
mushroom what?
Coffee.
Oh yeah,
Coffee.
yeah. Eric Ravola says, "Did you guys ever put a McChicken inside of a McDouble?" And a couple people are saying, "Yeah, they did it, and they called it a McGangbang or a McNasty."
I did it because Matt Zakrisky told me to do it.
That's funny.
That's a thing.
I've never heard of it.
That.
Back when the dollar menu first started, people would do that. They'd put a sandwich inside a sandwich.
Oh, the dollar menu was chaos. That was like the best
that was
thing in
insane.
the world.
You know what I learned when I went over to the East Coast for the first time? We were like out drinking with friends or whatever happened.
What?
And we went to McDonald's for like, you know, a late night drunk snack. And I wanted a spicy chicken sandwich. And they did not have spicy. They don't have spicy McChickens.
We have it now, finally.
Yeah, but when I went over there for the first time, 10 years ago, no spicy McChickens. And I was like blown. I thought that was like so crazy. I was like, what? That's like the best drunk food.
It took so long
Something
for spicy food
something...
to get here of any kind. Like, we just never had spicy anything here.
And even still, it's not that spicy.
Stuff. Yeah, even the buffalo wings here taste more like butter than buffalo. Like, it's like...
when we go back to eat Thai food and it's like delicious, it's like delicious, but it's never spicy.
Not
the flavor is good.
Do you remember, Kimmy? Like the first time, I remember being in like 7th grade, and that was when you started to do things with your friends, like go out and be like away from parents and stuff.
Yeah.
And like we went to, specifically, I remember going to McDonald's, and I always had so much dread, because I was poor. So like I never had money.
Yeah.
And like I was like, we're going, like everybody wants to go to McDonald's. And I remember going to the McDonald's and being like, fuck, I can't get anything. I can't get anything here. And all my friends would order food. And I would have to like quietly ask like one of my friends off to the side, like, could I borrow money from you to do that? And the only way I could pay them back was by not eating lunch for like 6 days in a row and getting that money and then using that to pay them back.
So when I said that I ate pizza and hot Cheetos and whatever Arizona tea, I said every day. That was an exaggeration. I ate it often, but it cost about $5.
Right.
Right.
So you would stack lunch money?
So I got $5 for the week. So I wouldn't eat for the rest of the week, or I would like get the lunch like from the school, like the free lunch.
I used to steal money from my dad in order to get extra food at school.
You could tell who the rich kids were at our school because they would always have. You could tell who the rich kids were at our school because they would always have two things. It would be a Fruitopia Strawberry Passion Awareness from the $1.50 machine, and it would be a bag of Fritos Barbecue Ranch Flavor Twists.
Oh my God, Fruitopia!
Those were the two things.
God, that just gave me like flashbacks.
Yeah. Fruitopia Strawberry Passion Awareness and the Fritos Barbecue Ranch Flavor Twists.
Dude,
they would always have both.
Being a poor kid in that transitionary period where you can't yet get a job and you don't have money, but your friends want to go out and do stuff was so scary.
I had friends.
That was why I started working when I was like 13. I was like, fuck this.
I had friends whose parents were doing not as good as my parents, like bouncing from job to job, maybe sometimes without jobs, definitely in a lot of debt. And they always had more money than me. They could go out and buy like clothes or food, and they could just ask their parents for money. And I never understood that, ever. Yeah, never understood that. I could never ask my parents for money. I got $5. My mom thought it cost $1 a day to feed me. That's fucking crazy, okay? That's crazy.
I always had spending money as a kid because my parents hired me illegally when I was 7 to work in a kitchen. So, like, I was just working in a kitchen from 7 to, like, 14. And, like, just making money doing that. And, like, it was not illegal at all. But, yeah.
Oh, when I see the thing online about, like, kids getting the ability to, like, work earlier. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, like, controversy on, like, Twitter and stuff. Whatever. People post, like, articles like, oh, they're just starting to make it so, like, kids can work fast food at a younger age. Like I get why that's, you know, can be bad, but like I would have killed for that when I was
It
a kid.
also
Like I
yeah,
wanted money so bad, and my family was poor, and like I had no way of getting money. I had to get a work permit. I had like begged my parents. I'm like, let's go, and like I did whatever I could. I like worked, I like painted the bathroom in a house just to get like extra money. I was like, please, is there anything I can do for money? And then I
right.
worked at that dirt bike job like when I was like a little kid, like 13. That was when I did that thing of walking to the dirt
Dude,
bike track every weekend
Well,
and
you
getting
know,
up at like 4 in the morning when you're like that age where you stay up all night
you know what's funny?
and flagging racers.
Even that, even though you were working at such a young age, was such a privilege because I wanted to do that because my parents didn't give me money and they would not allow it.
Right.
It was just like,
dude,
no. Like,
Well,
I
I
see that.
walked there.
But even if I was like, I could do this, even if they saw the effort, they would not allow it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if it was like, I want to do this, like, no, you don't need to. I'm like, but you guys don't give me any money for anything. And her parents are poor, and she always has she has a cell phone. Like, we're in middle school. She has a cell phone and like always has new clothes, and I'm wearing boys' clothes still, you know?
dude, we weren't kids, but do you remember strong arming my parents into taking you to London?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, listen, I'm not going to London unless Dave's coming, and take half the money for my ticket, put it towards Dave's, and then tell me what the balance is, and then give us a list of stuff you need done at the company, and me and Dave will do it until we pay off the other half. And we just did the dumbest odd jobs, like scanning thousands of Polaroids into a fucking laptop, one at a time. Over and over.
Sand-blasting propane tanks.
Sandblasting propane tanks. I was like, I'm not going
That's
to
so
London.
stupid.
Like, I'm not going to London without Dave. I'm not going with my family. I'll die. Like, I have to have somebody there. Like, and that was so dumb. I forgot about the propane tanks. Fuck.
Yeah, I remember it was like Saturday
Ugh.
mornings. We would just go to this like deserted
The
dirt
worst.
parking lot. Just sandblast propane tanks all morning.
Yeah,
I like how they just found work for you to do.
they have tons. There's tons of stuff. There's
They're
always
just
like
like, here.
50,000 things. Yep.
I mean, your family also felt bad for me. That
Um,
was another thing where like your mom was like very kind, and she'd be like,
Is he
like
hungry?
I don't have any money to like buy anything in London, and your parents like gave me money. I was like, you guys are very nice. It's like you don't have to
Remember-
do that.
remember the first time you met my grandma? What she said to you?
The first time?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
You said you're really nice. You said my grandma's horrible, and then my grandma gave you a hug and said, "That's okay. I'll be your grandma too."
Yeah.
I was
my,
like,
my grandma threatens to kill me all the time.
yeah,
But she has Alzheimer's.
it's so funny.
Yeah,
Man.
Dan's family basically took me in and gave me a
Somewhat
whole
normal.
bunch of new opportunities.
Yeah.
Gave you a bunch of chicken dinners.
Yeah, gave me food, place to stay.
It's true.
So-
All of
It
it.
was so wild.
Yeah, Dan's family was my second family for
Dude.
most of my childhood. They took care of me.
It's just so funny, the London thing. And then we just fucked off. We were like, we don't want to be here. We're gonna go to the city. They were like, okay, just be on the plane when it leaves. Like,
Yeah, and then people are dancing on tables and
Top Gun jacket store.
yeah, the Top Gun jacket store, and we were singing karaoke at that college, and we went
Good
on a lot of
stuff.
adventures. It was a lot of fun.
I don't want to stray too far from white trash food.
Yeah.
I feel like we've struck some gold.
I mean, I'd have to really think about it, but there's like so much stuff that we ate that was that. I mean, like my mom did this thing where I don't know if anybody in the chat can relate to this. My mom wanted to be wanted our family to have class, basically. So like we did all the things that you imagine like a wealthy family that like had a focus on etiquette did, where like it was very important to set the table a specific way, to always have like a wine glass thing and like a regular glass and all the right kinds of like silverware and plates and bowls. and we had like special containers for all the food when they came out. But then at the same time, we ate just shit food. We like had like all the right moves. Like it was like a masquerade that we were living fancy, and then we just like, you know, like candles, wine, like all that shit, and all of it was just bad. It's like, yeah, like that was like, that's probably like one of the more white trash things, was pretending we were rich. Was like outside of just bad food and stuff, like white trash food. It was so pretending trashy that we had money. Like making, like cosplaying being the wealthy family.
That's fucking hilarious.
One of my favorite versions of that was when you'd go to a friend's house and the mom would like try to show off a little bit and like make meatloaf, but the meatloaf was like 80% breadcrumbs. Yeah. You like kind of do it. You're like, oh, this is just loaf. Like this isn't. Like this is just bread. Like, bread and eggs. Mancer says, Dave, is this character based off of something?
No, this is just an original design. Just a one-off thing. Just doing for fun.
Dave always says.
Oh, go ahead.
Dave always says like the boys are so lucky that they grow up with the food that they get to eat.
Dude.
Just because, like,
I mean, you guys, you have no idea. Like
Kim, you make for the boys. Oh my god.
Kim makes like food. Like, I'll put it this way. Like, we go to like, been to like a bunch of Michelin restaurants, like all kinds of really good food. Like we were so into that for the longest time. Like that's what we would like travel for. Like that was our vacation, was just go to eat something fancy. And Kim is like just so good cooking. Like it's great. Like she can make like the stuff, like she's the kind of person that you could go to a restaurant, you taste something, and then she'll, just by tasting it, she'll get like how to make it, and then she can make that thing at home. It's really crazy, but that's like one of her talents. Is great.
Generally speaking.
But like you can make like we have like our favorite like pho restaurants, or even like you know, if you have like a dumpling like soup kind of thing where it's like super complicated, like a lot, like a wonton soup where a ton of effort goes into it. There's a lot of different things going on, tons of prep work, and Kim will do like all of that. And then she's also like obsessed with like having different things all the time because she gets bored with food. So she just makes food from everywhere. So it's nuts. And
tonight like we went to the Philippines.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had Filipino food
last
today.
night we were in Korea.
Yeah, and then she made
the
like
night before
Greek
that
food.
We were in Lebanon. The night before that we were.
Yeah, so she makes all kinds of food, and our kids have no fucking idea that I grew up eating burnt hamburgers regularly, and like meatloaf that was all dry, and like nothing, like just like English muffins was just what we ate for sustenance. By the way, here's a white trash thing. I didn't even add this detail. I forgot about it. We didn't get bread or any of like the like Entenmann stuff or like
pastries and
just like loaves of bread. We didn't get it from the grocery store. We got it from this special store that you'd have to drive to. There was specifically a bread and pastry place that had the stuff that was about to expire.
Dude,
and it was like
farm store on 28. Yeah.
Yes, dude. That's the only place we got. Yes. So it was stuff that was about to. You had to freeze it when you got home.
That's where we went too, because it was like $1. Everything was like $1.
Yeah, it was dirt cheap and just terrible. Yeah.
So if anyone here ever visits Cape Cod and you're driving down the highway, you're about to get on the bridge, you're gonna notice for a minute, you're gonna smell this intense, delicious smell of garlic.
It's rotting bread.
No. Like you're gonna smell this amazing garlic bread smell. It's gonna like overwhelm you, and then it's gonna be gone. There's a Pepperidge Farm like factory right before the bridge to the Cape, and sometimes in the south part of our town where I live, if the wind was right, you would just smell the croutons that they were making from the crouton factory, and the whole street would just smell like garlic bread, like just this insanely delicious. It was horrible. But yeah,
that's so crazy.
It's so.
You want to know
it's
what?
Like, huh?
Do you want to know what I smelled from where I lived?
What?
Cow shit from the breeze. There were
I think
the farms up in Greeley, the cow shit would blow down to us, and we'd smell that sometimes.
Mhm.
I think the most torture I've ever experienced was when me and Dave stayed at his brother's place in Boston, and it was next to a Hershey factory.
No, dude, it wasn't the Hershey factory. It was a chocolate place, but what they made, the only thing they made there, or at least the most fragrant of those things, was those what are they called, the Junior Mints.
Dude,
So they made like those chocolate Junior Mints.
it smelled like hot Junior Mints. Like,
Yes.
it was just like in your
Constantly.
skin. Like you were breathing it in. It was like it was insane. I couldn't sleep there. I was like, I need to eat chocolate. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, my brother would leave that place and just smell like chocolate, just smell like Junior Mints all day. Like it was literally like not down
I
the
wonder if
street.
that's appealing.
It was outside the window. Like the factory was outside the window.
The day
Do you think that's an appealing thing for?
No, not to live there and constantly
No, I mean
smell
to like
Junior
go out of your
Mints.
house and be like, "Oh wow, you smell like chocolate." He's like, "Yeah, I actually live right next to one."
I live next to a
To a
chocolate
chocolate.
factory. Yeah,
Dude,
he stunk.
the day old bread store was awesome.
I know, right?
They had,
That was the only time I was ever like allowed to have any of those like Entenmann's things.
Yeah, everything was $1, and it was the only place ever to this day. I've never seen this. If anyone in chat has seen this, tell me how to get it. They would make poppy seed muffins that didn't have lemon, just poppy seed muffins, and they were my favorite. Grilled, sliced and half grilled with butter as a kid. Poppy seed muffin was my favorite breakfast thing, period. But now
Yeah,
they only make. Yeah.
That was the first place I had those corn breakfast things, those like corn muffins that you put butter on. Those are fucking incredible. But
I don't want lemon poppy seed. I want a poppy seed muffin. Closest you can get is a pistachio muffin. It kind of tastes the same. But
I don't think I've ever had a pistachio muffin. That sounds delicious.
Oh my god, Kim, a grilled pistachio muffin. Next time you're out here, I'll get you one. My
I'm
god.
getting
Okay.
so hungry.
I am too. This is dangerous territory.
A grilled on the grill pistachio muffin is something else. I mean, a
That
grilled
sounds
blueberry muffin is
incredible.
good too, but
Damn.
I bet you got to eat a lot of mac and cheese and hot dogs. My dad, when I was a kid, he did because he had a paint and epoxy company. Anytime he did a job at a food service place, that was all we ate for the whole summer. So he did a job at the Kraft factory when I was like 5, and we ate Kraft mac and cheese every day, I think, for like a year.
Oh my
Like,
god.
because they just gave it to him for like free as part of the payment. Like, the only time the reason I don't like lobster anymore is because he did the floors at a lobster place in Kingston, this town out here, and they gave him free lobster every day that he was doing the job, and the job lasted 2 months. We ate lobster every day, and I'd never want to see lobster again.
Wow. What a
was-
crazy problem to have.
Dude, I liked lobster before that. I never want to taste it again. Like, it was at the point where I was like, please, can we eat anything else? And he was like, are you kidding me? Do you know how expensive these are? Like, dude, it's been every day for 2 months. I don't want to eat it. Like, yeah.
Ian says,
best-
off-topic question: are you guys still hosting monthly design jams?
Yeah, we're gonna do the next one. I promise you all I will make that video. I'll make that video. I mean, I won't make it tonight now because it's like super late.
Yeah.
But I will make it probably tomorrow, and then that'll go up. But yes, that design challenge is going to kick off. I can give you a hint of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be another character concept thing, but it's going to be based off of designing a character around an item. So it's going to be themed around kind of not household stuff, but general like equipment and things, and different use case items that have specific functions that you can then plug into a character that then uses that. So it's going to be generating from a 3-tiered list of things what you're going to go from. So it's like using like a randomizer to pick from 3 categories, and then you combine those 3 categories and create a character concept from that. But trying to keep it so that you have to have a character that performs the function of the tool, or looks like said tool in some way, or has the design motifs built in, but yeah, operates based off of that design wise. But anyway, that's what it's going to be. But anyway, yes, but you can get weirder with it than that. But we should probably get off of here. It's so late.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's already 11:11.
It's been 3 hours, boys.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, later, everybody.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks.
I really
Sorry.
want a lemon
Sorry,
toffee seed muffin.
Especially you, Venom Tang.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This
sorry,
one goes
Kim was
out to
here,
you.
Chad.
I'm so hungry.
Tammy's watching his carbs. He wants the sausage. Hold the bun.
Well,
Riley
I know
says
he does.
drawing. What if a cigarette was a person and it's just Ron Perlman?
That's a very good idea.
You should do that. But all right. Well, I'll see you all later. And hope you have a good night. Goodbye.